Hello, everyone. Sorry for the graphic, but here I am. I am John. Welcome to the show. Bit of a false start, but that's okay. We're here on Monday talking about all sorts of wonderful pop culture news, and welcome. Caleb is here in the chat. Hello. But let's get started before we dive too deep into other stuff. But what a day. What a weekend. So let's get into it. The first thing is box office report, as always, as usual. And with that, we have tons of Spider-Man news to talk about. It finally hit the big one. Guys, it has reached 1 billion domestically, to the shock of no one. But we're going to be talking about that. But in terms of weekend-to-weekend basis, did Insidious Out of the Further, the newest film in the Insidious franchise, beat it on a weekend basis? Well, we'll have to get into that a little bit. But outside of that, we also have, in terms of not just that, but Obsession breaking records as well as an update in regards to the pre-sales for Dune Part 3. Then, in terms of Spider-Man specifically, we're going to get into breakdowns and more records and all that stuff, as well as, J.K. Simmons had a little bit to say in regards to his Spider-Man role in the MCU, as well as a bit more MCU Daily. We have something in regards to Avengers Endgame Encore, Doomsday, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Season 2, and possibly the future. So we're going to be getting into that. A little bit of Business of Hollywood, Caleb's favorite, because of course David Ellison and all the attorney generals, they can't keep their trap shut. Then we have our quick hits, and then we have a monstrous DCU daily. We have so many quick hits in regards to lots of great art, a lot of some updates in regards to the People versus Gorilla Grodd. Sydney Sweeney is wearing a Wonder Woman costume, and dumbasses thought that meant something, so we're talking about that for some reason. So we're gonna get into that, and then a little bit of what did Gunn say. He had to debunk a lot, and it's honestly for worse than it is for better, so we're gonna be getting into that. Then a little bit of dynamic duo news. Apparently we got a budget, and possibly the canonicity in regards to the DCU. Is it or is it not? Then we have Lanterns, quite a bit of Lanterns content, because as we all know, the second episode has dropped yesterday. Dan did a watch-along yesterday, but in case you missed it, like me, because I have things going on weekends, so, that's neither here nor there, but I have to talk about it a little bit. Did it get better? Did it get worse? You'll have to tune in to find out. And then a bit of Batman Part 2 news. We are going to be analyzing the same footage of Rick stunts going in circles for some reason. Like, we have, the same video, 16 times, and for some reason that's news. But hey, it's Batman, and it works well in the thumbnail, and it gets us views. So hey, can't knock a guy for trying. But even all that said and done, let's get into the show. Let's be Knuff and have a good old-fashioned, wonderful, busy, possibly 4-hour DCU Daily.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number 2.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
You're
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot, right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chords.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the...
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh boy, everybody. Oh boy. Let's get into DCU Daily. Well, first, I'm going to take a bite of this cracker. Good stuff. And we're gonna show off the people in the chat. Caleb is here. Of course he is. Movie tributes. The Dark Knight, because I know how much you love Christopher Nolan. Marvelous Monday, cowboy beans and toast in Mikasa. That sounds lovely. I'm just eating a Fluffernutter cracker right now because there's nothing else in my house right now. Anyway, Human Girl, hello, welcome. Keyblade Master, hello, welcome. Isn't this lovely? The only person here isn't here is Dan, but he's setting up right now, so he'll be on soon. So, of course, I'm the host with the most, Fat John. Lovely to see you all. So, why don't we get this party started, huh? Come on now. The box office stuff. Got to talk about Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man Brand New Day triumphs again in fourth weekend with 39 million, while Insidious 6, aka Insidious Out of the Further, launches to 25 million. So it got close, surprisingly, but hey, people love popcorn horror flicks, so Insidious is still making money, so that's pretty good. I do love me a Fluffernutter. It's just very hard to host and also eat at the same time, so unfortunately I'm not going to be eating very much, well, until Dan comes on, and then I can be distracted enough to do that. But anyway, so box office report time. Spider-Man's still killing it, because of course he is. Gonna head over to fucking 3 billion at this point. Despite a smattering of newcomers, Spidey remained at number 1 ahead of Sony release Insidious Out of the Further, much lower down on box office charts where Lionsgate's action thriller Mutiny. Boy, what happened to Mutiny? Black Bear's comedy Spa Weekend by Isla Fisher, Leslie Mann, Anna Faris, and Michelle Buteau. And you know, it's been unstoppable on the big screen with 855 million in stateside revenues and 22 billion globally to date. It's the fourth film to surpass 800 million in North America. Currently, ranks as the third highest grossing domestic release ever, not far behind 2019's Endgame. So, yeah. And it's probably going to get to 1 billion. Yeah, I clickbaited a little bit, but that's okay. Gotta get the people enticed. Gotta wet your whistles a little bit. You know, gotta. You know what? Dan clickbaits all the time. I can clickbait sometimes. All right, get out of here. But also unironically, dude. Yeah, do the I've seen a lot of edits of the prequels, Star Wars prequels, and they're actually not half bad. So I'd recommend doing some of those. Oh, lucky. I wish I could have some pizza. I might have some pizza, maybe tomorrow, but unlikely. Anyway, but yeah, so congrats to them. But in regards to just the Friday, Insidious Out of the Further has officially become the first movie to defeat Spider-Man Brand New Day at the box office, taking the number 1 spot domestically only on Friday. Not the weekend. It didn't grab the weekend. It managed to beat it by $8 million, but it still technically beat it on the Friday. So they'll count that as a win, I guess. So here we are. Right, dude. Hello. But yeah, so it technically did beat a little bit, but not by a lot. So like, calm down. But you know, Spider-Man Brand New Day powers August box office to 1.1 billion domestic, shattering all-time record with a week still to go. Marvel's record-breaking hit has made up 62% of all domestic grosses this month. So yeah, so it hasn't reached 1 billion domestically yet. Again, I was just kind of joking in the intro a little bit, but you know, again, we gotta wet the whistles, right? I'll stop saying that, don't worry. But yeah, so you know, August is usually a wind down period for the box office, because usually the biggest months in regards to the summer box office are June and July, smattering in May, less smattering in August, but it's powering. It's power. Speaking of power, this is Ron Power, baby, fighting for justice right here with our boy Ron. But always lovely to see you, since you kind of took a bit of an absence, but that's okay. But yeah, so with all of this, it's damn, it's like it's crazy how well Spider-Man is doing right now in regards to the August box office, but that shouldn't be it'll be the exception, not the rule. It'll be the exception, not the rule, because it was so late in July. It was literally the fucking last day in July, so of course August was gonna be this huge month when it's usually not. Because I mean, look at all the stuff that's coming out. Like the biggest things are like an Insidious movie, Ridley Scott's upcoming Dog Stars, and like maybe a couple other movies, but none of the just like this was a very smart move by Disney. Unlike DC, which was like, let's insert our C-list character in between two juggernaut animated franchises, because that'll work. I'm almost convinced at this point that they wanted that movie to fail. Like, it was just like, we know this is going to be dog shit. Let's just insert it in between these two movies, and then yeah, yo. Um, Chilling. I saw episode 2. Oh, what did you think of it? Well, we're gonna be talking about it later, but let us know your quick thoughts right now, and then when we'll get into my review, which will be short, sweet, and to the point, because I don't really want to go on and on about it. Um, yeah, End of Oak Street. That was like kind of sort of a big one, but not really. But yeah. For the first time in the history of the American box office in the modern era, August will be the highest grossing month of the summer. America's biggest release ever, Brand New Day played for only 3 days in July and could make $750 million in August. So, congrats. Um, but these are the top 15 grossing films. Spider-Man Brand New Day right now is at 854. Again, this is box office mojo. It's not like totally on the up and up, but yeah, I think you got Brand New Day, you got Odyssey, Toy Story 5, Obsession. We're gonna be getting into that a little bit, but you got Michael, Devil Wears Prada. I will say I'm happy Supergirl at least got the top 15. That's pretty good. But it's just like with even with something like Moana and Mandalorian and Grogu, which are still kind of on not great on the back end, it's still, you have four Walt Disney productions still garnering in the top 10. So that's pretty damn good. Well, this was like 20th Century Studios, but still it's under Disney. So, yeah, good for them. Meanwhile, Warner Brothers didn't even crack the top 10. That's just depressing. I mean, they have the two right here for Mortal Kombat 2 and Supergirl, but combined, oof, not great. But yeah, so this is the summer box office right now as of currently, and Spider-Man Brand New Day just keeps struggling along. But in terms of Obsession, cracking the top 5, even getting more domestically than Michael, technically, if we're talking about the gross, not the total gross. And with that, Obsession becomes Hollywood's first original film of the 2020s to gross $500 million worldwide, which is extremely impressive. So, horror, even with something like Sinners did huge. Sinners was fucking phenomenal. And even though I would say Obsession is the better movie, apples to oranges, but it didn't. Even Sinners couldn't crack that. It was 370 million, and Obsession keeps going. Like, once TikTok gets their fucking claws into it, then bam, there we go. Yeah, probably not. Like, it'll be probably like the second. It'll hit the second most, but it definitely won't. It definitely won't beat Spider Man. But who knows? Um, yeah, we're gonna be getting into that soon, Hunter Eggy. Don't you worry. I feel well. I mean, to be fair, Curry Barker has said like he could see it as an anthology series, or it's like each movie is like a different like wish, and he also like envisioned like kind of like an anthology TV show where it's like, oh, well, this wish is like only this amount of time. It could only be 45 minutes. So yeah, cool. Um, I don't think so. I don't think it will. I think it'll do pretty well. I don't think it's gonna be like fucking monstrous or anything. It won't hit that far, but like when I was getting my tickets on the Saturday, it was a pretty full theater. It wasn't like it wasn't like sold out, but it was still pretty damn full. And that's saying a lot because like the Supergirl one, when I was checking that like later on, even that weekend, that was not very full. Kaiser versus Acme is full. The thing is, I've seen so many people be in terms of like this movie being like, oh, I wasn't gonna see this, but the thing is, the fact that now I know like the history behind it all, they're like, oh, I'm gonna go see it. Just as like a fuck you to Warner Brothers. Like that's that's saying a lot. Um what Curry Barg wants to do with the which reminds me of John Carpenter's original plans to make Halloween. Yeah, it's definitely like that. But yeah, congrats to Obsession. Um, but it is now the highest grossing original horror movie of the century, the second biggest original horror movie of all time, only behind The Sixth Sense from 1999. So, very much congratulations. But in terms of pre-sales, Doom Part 3 has now grossed 10 million in pre-sales, which like Endgame did in like a fucking day. In North America, nearly 4 months ahead of its release, it's the fastest Doom film to hit that mark, putting it on tracking for a 100 to 130 domestic debut. We did talk about this, how it was probably going to be 100, but now that's the lower end of the projection. Instead of it being 100, now it's 100 to 130. So that's really fucking good. So definitely a win for cinema instead of nostalgia slop that Doomsday will be. Yeah, Backrooms was great. Acme definitely has that viral push. So that would be awesome. That is very true. But yeah, way to go, Dune Part 3. A win for cinema. Although speaking of going back to slop, we have Spider-Man to talk about. Yeah, don't just because I liked it, it's still cape shit at the end of the day. But Spider-Man Brand Day hits number 6 all-time globally as it swings to 4th box office victory. Tom Holland's super blockbuster topped the worldwide sum for Force Awakens, while up against launches of Insidious, Out of the Further, and Jason Statham's Mutiny. So that's really good. Congrats to the film. They crossed the $2.22 billion mark at the global box office, fifth biggest film ever. Spider-Man Brand New Day, only behind Titanic, Avatar 2, Endgame, and Avatar. Now it's the second in the top 5. Now it's the second film in the for the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the top 5, while the other 3 are, of course, James Cameron directed films. So, maybe it'll finally be Titanic. Hope so, because I mean, it would only be like about like $3 million, which you could probably get very soon. So I have a strong feeling it'll beat Titanic soon, most definitely. But in terms of that, Spider-Man Brand New Day biggest markets globally after hitting 855, as we talked about at the top of the show. China is at 221 because China fucking loves these fucking movies. We got the UK, which is in the fucking triple. We got the 9 digits. That's pretty fucking good. Like especially, and got Mexico, France, Brazil, India, South Korea, Germany, Australia, Italy, all doing really fucking good numbers. It's just can't kill Spider-Man, bro. Can't kill Spider-Man. But hello, Michael Gutierrez. It's a curiosity. Will it suck so bad? It should have been shelved, or was WB? It definitely feels like the vibe I'm getting from the 3 movies they've shelved is Coyote versus Acme. They were smoking crack because literally everyone involved in the production, all the test screenings, everybody was saying this movie was phenomenal. Everyone's saying this movie was great. The critics have been saying it was great. The people who were at like premieres and stuff like that, they have said the movie consistently is phenomenal. Meanwhile, there was not really a lot about Holiday Haunt. Like that was kind of the most quiet like one that got thrown away. Nothing against Scoob Holiday Haunt. It's just like I didn't hear anything. The two biggest ones were Coyote versus Acme because that got such a positive response, and then Batgirl because that's a DC film. And the Batgirl numbers, the test screening numbers, were about the same as like Shazam: Fury of the Gods and Supergirl. So they were like, you know what, let's not bank on this. I mean, it's gonna be a direct to HBO Max movie anyway. Fuck it, let's cut our losses and just like tax write it off. So that's the vibe I'm getting. And then Scoob Holiday Haunt, like I heard like mixed things. Like some like said it was like okay. I don't think it got far into like test screening stuff as much as Batgirl and Coyote versus Acme did. So, and I think Holiday Hunt was supposed to be direct to HBO Max as well, but I'm not sure. Um, Nookips. Are the Clayface likely to go on sale in September? Yeah, it's a smaller movie, so that's probably going to be the case. Also, Hello Movie Spud. You know, I mean, I have a strong feeling it'll beat Avatar 2. But like I could see it getting 3 billion. It's just like at the same time, James Cameron could just re-release Avatar again and then it could just top Spider-Man again. So yeah. Yeah, but as people said, canon Spider-Man is not. Yes, we saw I literally just fucking talked about it, bro. Like you need to fucking pay attention, dude. I said, like, you mentioned the fucking James Gunn. We're not talking about DC right now, so you gotta fucking wait, dude. Like, I commented, yes, we did see the post. We're gonna talk about it. It, like, you don't have to say, did you see? I saw the comment. I literally commented on the comment. We're good. We move on now, okay? We saw it. We got it. We're good. Um, so with this, Spider-Man is a $940 million streaming revenue engine. A Parrot study shows movies and series based on the web slinger generate far more revenue than any other super. Yeah. Wow. I could have fucking told you that. I don't need to be a fucking economic streaming fucking expert to tell you that. So the most in-demand Spider-Man, Superman, and Batman movies. You got Spider-Man No Way Home, Across the Spider-Verse, The Batman, Far From Home, Into Spider-Verse, Superman, and The Dark Knight. Like all of these, like in terms of all of this, Spider-Man No Way Home and Across Spider-Verse are the biggest ones, but Superman, I will say that's pretty good, pretty big. And then the Batman is here. So, and then The Dark Knight is of course way fucking down here. Just way down coasting. But yeah, No Way Home, absolutely killing it. And then in terms of audience demographic for, let me do that. Audience demographic for select franchises, you got Spider-Man in terms of, male, female, male, female, male, female. Gen Z, a lot of Gen Z are clamoring for Spider-Man. Meanwhile, a lot of Gen X plus are going towards Superman. Well, it's relatively even for Batman because I feel like with a lot of you know I mean, Spider-Man is a kid or a young adult, so a lot of Gen Z are going to go towards that. Superman is like old school values kind of stuff, which I think a lot of Gen X and older kind of go towards. Well, Batman has had a smorgasbord of stuff. Like you have something like the Dark Knight, but then at the same time you can have something like Batman the animated series or the Batman or something like that, where it's just like so many different genres, so many different demographics that it remains for the most part like pretty even between Gen Z, Zennials, Zillennials, whatever the hell it is, and Gen X. However, millennials still seem to be they're definitely the highest for them is, Superman, which is interesting. But yeah, so I mean it makes sense. Like Spider-Man is still like the absolute king of superherodom because it's just like he's the most relatable. He's the most he deals with like real world issues and that not real world but like real issues. Um um yeah. So yeah, Batman and Superman are getting older than yeah, because the thing is they grew up with these characters and they keep growing up. Spider-Man is the kiddie kind of hero. Not in like a bad way, but it's just like he can be introduced to kids and like kids will like that. So, again, it's like they see themselves as that character. Not saying you don't see yourself as Superman, but like you know, yeah, so, it's cool. Um you know, um, Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later. Yeah, he does not. He does not. When will there be a trailer for Beyond the Spider-Verse? I could see that like December, because like I'm going off of like Superman came out in July, um, and that we got a first trailer for that in December, so I can imagine like December probably for Beyond the Spider-Verse because that's coming out in June. And there has been trailers. I think there were some trailers at like certain events or something. So yeah, I could see that coming out soon. Um, if they considering selling DC, then why even buy WB? DC is the best IP WB has. Yeah. Well, that you have Harry Potter, you have a lot of stuff under the WB umbrella. And it seems like Ellison wanted to buy Warner Brothers because of that, because of all the IP. So it seems unlikely that like Paramount would even fucking, sell that off. That would be a fucking stupid thing for them to fucking do. Um 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 Superman is the greatest superhero, Batman is the best superhero. So which one is it? And Superman Spider-Man is the hero we are. Well, I don't know about
But
that.
you
Some
know,
people are.
but you know what matters the most is which superhero makes the most money. And
Yeah.
and also, I'm just kind of bumping into the chat here because I want to kind of add this little nuance. I've been having some tech issues, so sorry guys. Like, I'm sure John noticed I was dunking in and out of the studio.
Yeah.
But I was just gonna say that chart. Like, if you go, are you able to pull up the date, the age group chart for a moment? Because I just want to make a quick point before we move forward. Like, the popularity of recent movies is one thing, because we know Spider-Man, I mean, it's all interconnected. Spider-Man's movies recently have been way more successful. There's also been a lot more of them. And I think that ties into this chart, because when you look at audience demographics for select franchises, I mean, again, they're talking about the three most popular: Superman, Spider-Man, and Batman. And hello to everybody in the chat: Ron, Michael, Monique, and everybody else. Thank you, of course, World Weeb and Caleb, Figure Drawing, and if I didn't get your name, Hunter Higgy, I apologize. But like, what I was gonna say is, you know how we talked about DC seems to be sort of almost scared of making movies for their biggest characters. Like, I know, like, the argument has been DC can only seemingly make Superman and Batman movies, or that used to be the case. I would say, like, until the 21st century, even the early, the 2000s, I would say that was the case. And in the 2010s, they tried to expand, and obviously things didn't exactly work out. Hello, Nelson. We got your picks later in Mount Rushmore Monday. But the point I'm going to make is this. This chart right here should be alarming to Warner Brothers, because not only does it show that Spider-Man is more popular today than Superman and Batman, even more popular than Batman. I mean, I think it was pretty much like Batman has been flying the flag for DC for a long time anyway. But the fact that Spider-Man is more popular than both of those characters is alarming to begin with. But then what's even worse is when you look at the audience mix. I mean, the male-female demographic part is not surprising. Most comic book superheroes, the majority of the audience is male. And so that's not, I think there's minor differences, but overall, like, about 3/4 of the audience is male, which is, what is to be expected. You would want to have more of a female audience, but it is what it is. These are male superheroes, and they're so it makes sense. But what's really alarming and troubling is that Spider-Man's fans are on the average younger in almost every category. Like you look at the chart is almost inverted from Superman. Like, pretty much Superman has a similar amount of fans that are Gen X, versus Spider-Man having Gen Z. And then Batman is kind of more of an even spread, but even for Batman, you got a lot more Gen X fans than you do for the other, for Spider-Man. The problem there is, hello, even Nerd Girl. It's that, John, like, we talk about it with Star Trek, right? I think it still holds true despite the recent shows they've been putting out. Star Trek's fan base is literally dying, and their failure to ignite, and inspire a greater chunk of the younger audiences is the biggest thing that's going to probably, drive Star Trek into the archives again, for like the second or third time since its existence. Now, it's always been an up and down thing for Star Trek, and I'm sure they'll survive. I think also Star Wars. I think Star Wars might have it even worse right now. Their fans are literally dying, like in the sense that they have older fans, and older fans, have moved into parts of their lives where they're not really gonna go to the movies as often as younger fans. Now, I'm generalizing. I'm not saying this is true for everybody,
Right.
but like the point I'm trying to make is, and these numbers show you, like from a movie studio perspective, like right now we've talked about it many times. Gen Z are the highest movie going audience demographic. They are driving the most sales at the box office. It's always been true. Movie studios will target the teenagers. That's, you want to bring in the younger crowd because they're going to come to the movies most often. They're going to spend more money on concessions. They're going to buy the merchandise. So, and from a multi-channel perspective, they're going to be your most passionate fan base. And today, Gen Z is that demographic. And you could see like almost half of Spider-Man's audience is from Gen Zers. It's like, or like amongst Gen Z, 44% are Spider-Man fans, 45% if you round up a little bit. So that to me, and again, Monique, I am generalizing. I'm not saying that's true for everybody in those age groups. I'm generalizing because on the whole, these numbers say a lot. And I think that's the problem. Like, this is where, and again, we're going to get into DC later, but I just want to quickly make that point of John. A 6-year gap between 2 Batman movies and a period of time where we have gotten 2 Spider-Verse animated movies from Spider-Man and 3, if I remember correctly, 3. I mean, you can kind of extend it a little bit because technically Far From Home came out before the Batman. But if you look at a period of, let's say, 7-8 years from 2021 to 2028, we would have gotten, I think 2 or 3 Spider-Verse films and 3 live action Spider-Man movies, not to mention Spider-Man showing up in at least 1, if not 2 Avengers films. And then you have 1 Superman movie in that time. And then maybe if you count the Snyder Cut, you got, that 1 more Batman and Superman movie there. And that right there, I think, is a big reason why Gen Z is way more in love with Spider-Man Brand New Day or just Spider-Man in general. And then that shows up in the box office because that's why you've got a Spider-Man movie that almost made $2 billion. And now this one easily made $2 billion, can, at this point aim for not just 2.5, but might actually be the first movie to get to $3 billion. It's just, this report is very damning
on top of that,
for DC.
On top of that, sorry to interrupt, but then the one TV show they have of Batman got no fanfare. What, I saw 1 ad for Batman Cape Crusader, and then they shit it out on the Prime Video. That shit's not getting a season 3. I wanted to get a season 3 because they finally got their footing, but that's not getting a season 3.
I mean, to be fair, they ordered the first 2 seasons together, so there wasn't a renewal for season 2.
There wasn't a renewal for it, and I don't think that's because the thing is, like, I mean, Cape Crusader season 1, I wouldn't say had a lot of fanfare. It had a good amount of marketing. Like, I saw a lot of it. Cape Crusader, I saw maybe 1, maybe 2 ads, and that's it. That was. I mean,
there's a lot of digital placement ads. I mean, and to be fair, in that particular situation, I will say the majority burden falls on the distributor. So Amazon needs to be the one that really pushes that, and I feel like they haven't really pushed it that much. And maybe that's because
it's also at the same time,
that.
It's on Amazon, but at the same time, we're still going back to Warner Brothers, who aren't greenlighting these projects and taking this seriously. Batman is the fucking biggest moneymaker you have, and I understand you want to give the artist his fucking roses and all that shit. But, like, at the end of the day, you're a business, and you're fucking failing hard by not, like, as much as I hate to say, like, to agree with all the haters of the DCU right now, it's like, why aren't we getting Batman? Why aren't we getting Batman? I'm like, yeah, I understand there's a foundation there. But at the same time, it's like, now I'm starting to agree with that because it's just like, you're not using your projects and you're not using your characters. And we're gonna go into this one with the what did Gunn say, because I have a lot to fucking say about that. And it's like, dude, what are you doing here? It's like, and it's like, it's a joke, it's a stereotype at this point that it's like Warner Bros. Is afraid of money, but that's all it is. Like, really, fucking, when we were in like prime post-COVID numbers, fucking Batman made almost $800 million, which is still, it's not the greatest thing ever, but it's still really fucking good.
Yeah.
And this was like right after, No Way Home made $1 billion, but like, even then, like, it's like, if we're just talking about DC, that still made a lot of fucking money, and it was still like really good for them. And you're just waiting around for Matt Reeves to just make his, it's like like take this shit seriously, bro. Like you don't have a Batman movie in the pipeline for your other universe. You're writing everything on this one where it takes fucking 5-6 years to fucking make another Batman movie because
it just
Matt Reeves is a perfectionist. It's
I mean,
like,
and then it's
perfectionist means nothing when you're going to be fucking fired from your apparent third movie, Vision, because it's like, hey, especially if Batman Part 2 makes a lot of fucking money, Matt Reeves is getting fired. Like if we're going like again, everything goes to plan, Paramount buys it, Paramount doesn't buy it, I'm willing to bet you Matt Reeves is going to get fired because it's like either you make the movie in under like 2-3 years or you're out of here. We're going to get you worked with 2 other writers on both of these movies. We're going to get them. We're going to hire a good director and we're going to fucking make this movie because you're taking too fucking long and we're bleeding money right now. We need money. Batman is our biggest character. Get the fuck out of here. Because we can't afford to like be artistic vision dog shit with your pretentious ass 3-hour Batman movie. We want to make money. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of my sight. Take your artistic bullshit to fucking Universal because that's what happened with Nolan. So fuck out of here. Sorry.
Well, I mean, and again, look, this is I'm not trying to pile drive Matt Reeves' version of the Batman into the ground because I think like Ron, I disagree with what you're saying. I think because the Batman made like $750+ million, it gives the Batman Part 2, even if it's with this more adult theme. It's not a rated R movie. It's not gonna be rated R. It's got a very good chance of making $1 billion. I think almost easily it could make $1 billion because it's a sequel to a really good, like if you look at simply Batman Begins. Well, again, I'm talking about like not from a review perspective. I'm talking about in terms of how successful it was. Like you look at the travel between Batman Begins and what that did to revive the franchise to then what the Dark Knight was able to do. Now that would mean the Batman Part 2 needs to be as big of a jump in quality. But like again, I think it can happen, and I think it's more of an overall effect. Like I think these charts like this, they tell you about like what's happening in the moment, but also as a trend. Right? Because like Ewan Nordgler, for example, it's not just about like, I'm not saying the people who grew up with these heroes who support them I'm not trying to be ageist here, right? I think like John and I technically don't really qualify as Gen Zers. I mean, it's like on technicality. I mean, according to this metric, John might qualify.
I think you're more millennial. I'm more in between.
So I think we're kind of, so even us, like we're not in the prime. But I think when it comes down to it, like it's not just like Gen Z is the only reason why Spider-Man is making billions of dollars, but it sure as hell helped because when you are doing the best with the most movie going demographic, that again, it's just simple math, right? And I think the problem is with DC, they've been through. So I think part of it's not even like single-handedly James Gunn and Peter Safran are responsible for this. It's just DC mismanagement at Warner Brothers as a whole, which is partly why they're there to fix this, right? I think, for example, Man of Steel was in 2013. That was the last solo Superman movie until 12 years later we got a Superman film with David Cornsweet. Yes, we got a Justice League, we got a Batman v Superman in between that, and they had varying degrees of success or not success, but obviously a lot of shit went wrong. And then for Batman, the same thing. I mean, we hadn't had a solo we hadn't had a solo Batman movie since 2012 till 2022 when the Batman came out, and in between we had an entire different Batman played by Ben Affleck that never got a solo outing. So I think again, it's just gross mismanagement of your 2 most popular characters. And again, I'll remind you, between 2012, 2013 to 2026, there have been like, if you count the 2 Garfield movies, you count the 4 and Tom Holland movies, Civil War, and the 2 Avengers movies, that's more than the amount of Batman and Superman featured movies we have gotten in that time combined. And it's across multiple regimes. It's the fact that Warner Brothers has been sold and bought 3 times in that period of time. And the quality has been up and down. And, you know, we have had a reboot, and then we have had like Batman in 3 different cinematic universes in that period of time, while Superman has been so up and down to the point when Henry Cavill came back, and then he had to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not actually back. We're going in a different direction. So that tends to draw the audiences away. I think Superman and Batman, when handled correctly, can be absolutely as popular, if not more so, than Spider-Man. Like, there was a period of time where Batman was more popular than Spider-Man in the 2000s and early 2010s, but obviously that has changed. So I think, again, on a big picture perspective, these numbers are alarming, and they're more a reflection of mismanagement on the part of Warner Brothers with everything they've done or not done with DC. And I think right now, damage mitigation, I mean, they need to just move faster. Like, you guys ask us, like, hey, is X-Men going to go into production like early next year? Like, how are they going to make their release date in May 2025? I'm like, that's because that's how Marvel works. They put the Fantastic Four movie in production the day Superman finished production, and it came out only 2 weeks after Superman. Now, granted, Superman made more money, John, right? Like the difference in box office was like less than $200 million. And you could imagine a movie that with a higher profile could have almost matched Superman. Like if it was a Spider-Man movie instead, or if it was, I don't know, like the X-Men movie, I bet you is going to make more Superman-like numbers than it's going to do what the Fantastic Four did. But the fact that Marvel has got such a machine that also now Sony's taking advantage of, because Marvel Studios produces the movie and Sony distributes them for Spider-Man.
Right.
They can push out a blockbuster in 18 to 24 months. DC can't seem to do that in 3 years, you know? So that's
unless it's James Gunn, because bro's gonna shit out 2 movies.
Well, but James Gunn can't do like every movie in the DCU too.
No,
right?
I know.
So
I'm just that's another big problem. Like, I respect the fact that he was like, we're gonna do things like director vision and all that, and that can work. But at the same time, we gotta like fill you still gotta like have the machine like quality, because it's like people don't want to wait around for like a fucking decade for a Batman sequel. It's like, at this point, we're gonna have Old Man Batman. Like, it's gonna be the 3rd movie at this point, and Arpads is in his 40s. Like, bro, come on, he's supposed to be like 27. Get the fuck out of here.
And to be honest, I mean, look, it doesn't necessarily. Here's the thing: Marvel has shown us, and I'm not saying that every movie is top notch, best in the world, but I'm like, you have to find the balance where some movies are not going to hit, some movies won't be that good, but then every once in a while you'll get, not even once in a while, like even if 1 or 2 out of your 3 movies are as good enough to like make $1 billion, ultimately Hollywood is a business, right? Like, I get like there's a space for something like the Batman franchise, which is more of a prestige franchise, but you also got to have other stuff ongoing that moves at a faster clip, where you're able to like be a commercial franchise success like Marvel has been. Because say what you will about the quality of those movies, the one thing Marvel movies are able to do, they're able to release mostly on schedule. They just announced the X-Men movie. They've been working on it for a while in terms of assembling the cast and everything. But within less than 2 years from now, they're going to have it out in theaters. They announced, they announced Man of Tomorrow, and they're following a similar timeline. But when you look at pretty much everything that's not directed by James Gunn in the DCU, it seems to take a lot longer. And I think that's something, especially with your most popular heroes, because I agree with you guys in the chat. Ultimately, DC has more higher and more valuable top end IP, especially top end IP that hasn't been exploited yet. Like, we haven't gotten, the greatest Wonder Woman movie of all time. We got a really good one, and that made $700+ million. We haven't gotten I think we may even, we have yet to get the greatest Superman movie of all time, or like we haven't had a $1 billion
like the fact
Superman
that like
movie.
a Justice League movie automatically didn't make $1 billion is like a crime against humanity. Like, that's ridiculous.
You know what I mean? Like, there's all this unfulfilled potential. So I'm like, if the DCU has so much like ground that it can make up, that it's right there, and the fact there's no ownership problems, you can literally do any crossover you want. It's just, I think James Gunn and Peter Safran want to do all of those things and more. It just happens to be that, again, beyond their control, the company they work for is getting sold yet again for the 4th time in less than 10 years. And that creates a lot of chaos, because that is the kind of thing where David Ellison might walk in and be like, your movies are great, dude, but we need to pay off $100 billion in debt, and I can't have you spend 6 years making another Batman movie that holds up our mainline cinematic universe movie. So thanks, but no thanks. 2 were good. I think we're done with your franchise. We're going to stick with the DCU Batman now. So like, I'm not saying that will happen, but there is a chance.
I think what they'll do is like maybe make another one, but it's like they're just gonna grab Tomlinson, I think that Mattson Tomlin, and whoever fucking wrote the first one. They're like, okay, you guys fucking write the Batman. Now you worked with him, you know what it's all about. Here, figure it out, and then maybe they'll keep Matt Reeves as a producer role. But then it's like, dude, you're taking too long. At the most, it'll be like a fucking Tim Burton on Batman Forever situation. All right, you'll be on as producer, but like not really. So just fuck off, or actually do a movie on time, and that's what it is.
Yeah. Anyway, we're talking about Spider-Man. And I think Spider-Man obviously deserves all the success because it's a franchise that's been managed well and to, absolutely mind-boggling results, which is great for Marvel and Sony. So, let's keep it. We'll get back to talking more Batman later, obviously. Again, the Batman 2 looks good. The set photos look amazing. Anyway, carry on.
But this was kind of a funny thing where J.K. Simmons talked about never meeting Tom Holland because it's like, with how these movies are, it's just like you're in front of a green screen or you're on the Daily Bugle thing, and it's just like, we're just like last minute, that kind of thing, and then that's it. Yeah, so kind of funny.
Yeah. It is kind of like, because he was called in pretty last minute to be added to the Far From Home, the ending, and I want to say that a lot of his scenes in No Way Home were with like either the CG body double of Spider-Man or like a stuntman in the suit. So I don't think he's ever met Tom Holland in person, which is wild to think about. Not even at the premiere. I mean, I don't think J.K. Simmons goes to these premieres anymore, but yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah.
But,
apparently Miles Morales Spider-Verse movies are the most streamed Spider-Man movies since 2023, surpassing other versions of the most popular fictional characters. You got Miles Morales, then Tom Holland, then Tobey Maguire, then Andrew Garfield. Considering, for you have the recency bias mixed in with like animation is more like kind of like for an everyone thing, and I think it also helps of like it's not like huge numbers. It's just like maybe about half for Andrew Garfield, but like even then, I think this kind of makes sense to me. With how revered the Spider-Verse movies are, and then Tom Holland is the most recent Spider-Man, so of course those guys are going to be the top two.
Yeah,
makes sense to me. So yeah,
I mean, also here's the thing: the Miles Morales character is really popular with the younger generation, and then when you're looking at simply from 2023 onwards. Yes, there have been 3 Tom Holland movies in that time, but like the Spider-Verse movies were relatively newer. And 12.3 to 10.6 billion, it's like Tom Holland Spider-Man movies grossed way more at the box office. So I think that makes up for it. And a movie like the Spider-Verse films, I think even the fact that they made a lot less money than those Tom Holland live action movies means there were more people who waited to see it on streaming. So that explains the difference. But I mean, the fact that Tobey Maguire is almost matching Tom Holland numbers, like only like 2 billion away, that's still pretty impressive, considering those movies are so much older. So I don't think Man of Tomorrow is going to flop worldwide, but that could be a hot take. So I don't think the DCU, we'll get to that later. We're trying to stay on topic right now with Marvel. So I mean, but this is great. I mean, you look at it and you add up all the streaming numbers. Sony is one very happy company because they license out these movies to Netflix in pay one window, which means the first place you can stream it is on Netflix. And then after, I think 18 months of being on Netflix, they go to Disney Plus. And so that's where the older Spider-Man movies. So Sony gets paid either way. Sony's making bank, much like with the shows as well. I mean, actually, to be fair, the shows, this live action show is a Sony thing. The animated show is Disney makes that money. So that's the differentiation.
Because I think it's because of like animation versus like or TV rights. I don't know. It's like
it's like a weird delineation.
It's a weird like loophole type of thing. So I don't know. Maybe because like that one was produced by like Phil Lord or Chris Miller. Clearly, it's separate from like Marvel stuff. While this was intended to be a prequel to Homecoming, and then it kind of diverged onto its own path. But yeah, no, I agree. I did finally finish over the weekend. I did finally finish Spider Noir Peak, of course, amazing. Just absolute. It's a shame we're probably never gonna get a season 2, but like honestly, for me, I don't mind it as a mini series because I think where it ended is like we can always have more adventures, but like at the same time, it's like the arc of like beginning, middle, and end was there for this version of the character. So yeah, Spider Noir Peak. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man also peak. I hope season 2 is good. It's just like I'm nervous about them like adding Venom and Spider-Gwen and all that shit. So not great.
Wait, is Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season 2 coming out next year? I thought it was this year. Because did that get changed? I don't know, Michael. I thought because they just greenlit season 3 and season 4 apparently is also in the works. They might have pushed it back. I mean, yeah, Spider Noir was such a breath of fresh air. Too bad it was so expensive to make, but
the
yeah.
season is set to premiere in January 2027.
Okay, so they pushed it back. I think originally it was going to be out like by now, so that makes sense. But yeah, I mean the Nielsen ratings look good. I mean the fact that Spider Noir more than doubled the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man numbers, it goes to show you again, animated stuff still has a smaller appeal. Like X-Men '97, there's a rabid fan base for it, but it's not as big as like,
it's not as
people will
big.
go
But
to the
even then,
movie,
I think
you know?
like, and I think it's also because of like Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong, I love the show, but it's just like it's the Tom Holland movies again in animated form, but slightly different. Spider Noir is so fucking unique, so different. It combines all these genres. It's got the prestige of like Nick Cage doing TV because he's like, I fucking hate. He's like, I would never do TV, and then he's like, I watch Breaking Bad, and I'm like, oh shit, this actually TV could be a future thing. So the fact that they got Nick Cage to do it, they got a lot of really good actors, they got a lot of really good writers.
Dude,
They
I
got
mean
people who
Brendan
understood the
freaking
source material
Gleeson.
but did the
Come on
proper
now.
changes to make it work, and it worked. And I think it's just like it really got like a lot of people invested in this because it's just like it was just so vastly different from what we had been getting from Spider-Man, and it's done and done well. It's like, oh, it's different. Okay, different can only get you so far, but it's different and lands the plane. So, you can't really say that about, oh yeah, the movie about the show about film noir Spider-Man with Nick Cage. How the fuck is that going to work? Well, they fucking managed to make it work and work it to near goddamn perfection.
Yeah, I mean, and for the sake of anybody that's listening to the show, Spider Noir got 2.6 billion minutes in viewership minutes in this first 6 weeks for Sony and Amazon, and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season 1 got 1.2 billion,
which was
Marvel Studios on
kind
Disney
of a mix
Plus.
between binge TV and weekly, because I think each
They were like batches.
each week it was like 2 to 3 episodes per week, so it was like kind of binge, kind of not. So yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, that's it for Spider-Man, guys. No more Spider-Man. Well, a little bit of Spider-Man. We're going to talk MCU daily, but whoa. Did I not grab? Oh, I might not have grabbed that. Anyway, how's life? How are you, Dan? Are you doing okay?
I'm trying to figure out, like, again, some tech issues here. I don't know if it's like the camera, or if it's like the browser or whatever. Anyway, Nicolas Cage is the only actor I'm familiar with at Spider Noir. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, there's a lot of other actors that, I mean, Brendan Gleeson, he was in the Harry Potter franchise. He's a huge British actor. His son is in the new Office spinoff that I think got renewed.
Yeah,
question
the
for
paper
John
that nobody fucking watched, but somehow got a
apparently enough
sequel.
people did. So
yeah, got a fucking season 2. So that's something, I guess.
I mean, they got Oscar in it. That's a plus.
Oh
John,
yeah, Oscar, my favorite Office character, the literal wet blanket of the entire fucking show. Yeah, my favorite. All right, okay.
Well, I mean,
sure.
To be honest, it's they'll take what they can get. Figure Drawing's asking you a question. When you make movies, will you lower your rating if X project is too popular? I don't know what that means. When you make movies, will you lower your rating if X project is too popular? Like about his own movies? Like if John made a movie, will he?
What? I'm so confused.
You gotta restate that. It's kind of hard to understand what you mean by that question, Figure Drawing. Okay, just some geeky guy. Let us know when you got that joke. MTG saying the Tom Holland Spider-Man and Noir showcase.
Now I forgot to grab it. For some reason,
Exactly,
I skipped over the entirety of MCU Daily. But anyway, Avengers Endgame Encore re-release pre-sale start this coming Monday, aka today. It'll have select IMAX showtimes in select cities as well as other premium large formats in select theaters. I'm so confused. I have no fucking clue what you're asking.
I think he was trying to make a joke that if you made a movie and it came out and became really popular, that you might lower your own rating for your own movie.
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't give my own movie a rating because that's what I was thinking. Made it. That makes no sense. Like, what?
And by the way,
you fucking crashed the plane, figure drawing. You couldn't even make it. Just keep the shit posting to Caleb. Don't try to do that, bro. It's Caleb
also...
knows what he's doing. He's young. He's a prick. He knows what he's doing when it comes to shit posting. You just don't try. It's
I
okay.
mean, look, most filmmakers, if you ask them if they're done enough work, like they'll tell you like they don't want to look at their movie after they're done.
Unless
with
it's
it
Ridley Scott, who
looked at it,
literally
like,
put his own movie in his top 4 favorite movies.
I mean, you know what, John? We will talk more about him later in the show, as you're aware, and I'm sure that'll be fun to talk about. So yeah.
But yeah, cool. Went on sale. Great. Don't care. Avengers Doomsday leaked costume photos resurfaced featuring Doctor Doom, the Sentry, and more.
Again, these are real photos. I mean, it's just like who the hell is like keeping a lid on this stuff, because it's all coming out now. It's just
I think it's all just like I think it's Marvel just doing it. Like they're 100% doing it.
Yeah. Caleb is 18, I think.
He's 18.
He literally turned 18 weeks ago. Yeah,
come on. He acts like an immature child. Why wouldn't you think he's like any more than that? Come on now.
But yeah, Avengers Doomsday. I mean, look, the costumes look nice. You know, you got the long hair for
I hate the
Magneto.
jackets on the Fantastic Four. It's like, idiot, are you a little chilly? It's like, that's
It's
what you need, a
over
little
the top,
jacket,
yeah.
Fantastic Four. You need a little jackets. Ooh, we're wearing matching jackets. We're like a biker gang, but like not. And it's just like, okay, cool. Sure.
They're biker gang in space.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's more like Lobo, honestly. But yeah. These are cool. And yeah, and my worst fear is that Mystique fucking suit. I can't tell. Are they trying to sell the blue as her skin or part of the suit? I don't know what they're trying to do there. That's confusing. I don't like that. That's fucking stupid. Anyway, I don't want to look at these. These are horrid. I fucking hate these. Let's move on. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 4 in the works. Update on Ghost Rider, Nova, and more. So Marvel Animation shared a first look at Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2 at D23, but the next batch of episodes won't be the end of Peter Parker's story. Instead, it seems like there are long-term plans in place for this version of the Web Slinger. The series, which was initially billed as exploring the life of the MCU's Peter before he met Iron Man in Civil War, eventually evolved into its own thing, with showrunner Jeff Trammell in charge. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man has delivered a fresh take on Spidey's world that still feels loyal to the comics and specifically the work of Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. According to a new report from Murphy's Multiverse, following comments from head of streaming, television, and animation at Marvel Studios, they gotta shorten that, guys. Just Brad Winderbaum. That Season 3 has been greenlit. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 4 is also in the works. Trammell pitched a 4-season plan for the show, but has suggested that he would like to extend the story beyond that if given the chance. The site has also shared news about 5 production companies set up by Marvel Studios for live-action projects: Atlas Hall, Dredge, Fragment, Throttle, and Veil. Atlas Hall is the X-Men reboot, which will be filmed in the UK and Ireland. Fragment is Black Panther 3, another UK-bound movie. Throttle is Ghost Rider, that's set to shoot in the United States. Wow, crazy. And then, while not confirmed, the site posits that Dredge references 2 prison transports, Dredge 1 and Dredge 2, that crashed on Earth at the beginning of Marvel Comics' Annihilation event in the pages of a Drax the Destroyer comic. If so, it seems likely that this one is for Michael Waldron's Nova, the movie that's been off and on for the past like 10 fucking years, which we'd imagine places it on course to be released in 2029. As a reminder, it's been long rumored that Nova's MCU debut would see Richard Rider doing battle with Annihilus, and this is the perfect project to bring back the Guardians of the Galaxy sans James Gunn, of course. Veil is a Disney Plus project, and the site theorizes it could be anything from Avengers Academy to Inhumans. They're not fucking bringing back Inhumans. Get the fuck out of here. For now, it seems like we'll have to wait for the next round of announcements from Marvel Studios. So that's exciting. Nice to see all of that. All right, Beavis and Butthead, get out of here.
Thank you for the super chat. Just some geeky guy.
But yeah, this is cool. I don't know if you have any thoughts on this, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so sorry, I was just gonna say, like, this basically tells us how many movies we're getting in 2029, right? Because the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 4 is great, but it does tell us that I think we might be getting another 3 movies in 2029, including Nova. which is cool. I mean, Marvel trusting themselves to be like, we're gonna do up to 3 movies and like be able to keep the quality. I think part of that might be because they're cutting back on the amount of TV shows, so it's good. I mean, again, it goes to show you Marvel, for better or for worse, works like a well-oiled machine, and more often than not, to great results at the box office at least, and a lot of times the fans, for the most part, love it too.
And when you take on the responsibility, great power will come.
All right, there you go. That one was for you, Justin Geeky Guy. Thank you for the super chat.
Yep. Anyway, let's move on a bit to some MCU Daily Quick Hits, possibly. But X-Men star Indy Navarrete rumored to debut as Rogue in this upcoming MCU movie. Spoilers! From our boy Jeff Snyder, our favorite little dipshit. Apparently will make her MCU debut as Rogue in 2027 Secret Wars. This comes after reports that Sadie Sink will appear in the movie as Jean Grey. So, elsewhere in the podcast, it was announced that, or it was mentioned that Alien Romulus star Kaylee Spaney is still being eyed for a role in X-Men that would expand to future movies. Some fans have suggested she could portray a character like Moira McTaggart. We'll have to wait and see. Plus, following false claims that Lee Pace, Henry Cavill, and Matt Smith are in the mix for a Magneto, Snyder says he's heard nothing about the Master of Magnetism being cast in X-Men. However, the Social Reckoning's Jeremy Strong was a name he heard some time ago. So, what are your thoughts on this, Dan? Do you think she's gonna appear in Secret Wars? And if so, what do you think the role will be?
Well, I mean, it's been rumored that, obviously we're going to get Jean Grey in there as well. So if they do appear in Secret Wars, I mean, it depends. Because you would be in Battle World. So and the other
Cavill
X-Men
is
will be
allergic to
dead.
being in box office hits, so he wouldn't definitely not be in this movie. I love Henry Cavill, but that man is straight up allergic to money. Like, you know what it is? He is like goes into a coughing fit every time,
I think he's maybe too much of a nerd for his own good, because that's
probably
kind of works in his favor, but also
in Hollywood
against
you
him.
Can't have morals. You can't be, you can't care about the source material, because then, you're going to the curb, my guy, which is a shame, but that's just business.
I mean, he went down swinging, like ultimately at the end of the day, and
he went down swinging.
Yeah, and I think he's made more than enough money to not have to worry about.
He's fine. He made at least a little bit of money from Fallout. He's good.
But to this rumor, I mean, if you're gonna get the new team of X-Men or some of them in Secret Wars, I don't think we're gonna get everybody. I think Sadie Sink's Jean Grey most likely will be there, because obviously we've already seen her in Spider-Man. But then Indy Navarrete's, sure, why not Rogue? You would kind of be backdoor piloting, almost like giving fans like, oh look, this is a teaser for what's going to happen in a few months from now. I think we need
to just keep that as a starred comment. Anyway,
yeah, but I don't expect them to play a big role. They'll probably just show up to like help out.
See, this is why you got to keep the shit posting to Caleb. That's why you gotta, just leave him to it all, guys. Like, don't.
I don't think I've ever heard Henry Cavill sneeze in a movie. Like, I don't think that's ever been part of any of his scenes. But, yeah.
Anyway, but cool, great, awesome. Your boy James Spader reveals where Ultron has been since Avengers: Age of Ultron. I assume in his fucking head. He's been in prison since Avengers: Age of Ultron. He's had access to the internet, television history, and he's just been consuming and doing a bit of painting. He's been painting and making trouble. He's in this house with Vision, who he loves/hates, and all these other AIs who he couldn't give a fuck about.
Dude, I love James Spader.
James Spader,
God,
this universe didn't deserve James Spader. Like, he is so much fucking better than this entire universe. They didn't deserve him, and the fact that he's coming back for this shit is just like, wow. Yeah. They don't deserve you, really.
I mean,
but hey, they actually have an good writer, someone like Terry Matalas working on this
and
shit.
His team, yeah.
The man literally did the impossible, guys. He made Star Trek Picard actually good in the end. That is no small feat. Like, Honestly, they should just start calling him Jesus Christ, because that's like literally a miracle.
Although I
That
will
is
say that's
quite
not as
literally
no
a
no. I will say
goddamn
this though, John.
miracle.
That's not as difficult as you think, because if you watch Star Trek Picard back, every season felt like a different show. Like there was no identity, so I'm like he was just, they were just like, you know what, it doesn't matter. Season 1 and season
Let's
2 couldn't have been
actually
more
get
different.
a guy who knows
So-
Star Trek. Crazy. Get over here. It's like, bro.
But anyway, as far as this goes,
No. He wasn't Pennywise. He played Ultron. He wasn't
played
it.
Ultron.
He was Ultron.
He's also the
You're confusing your franchises, bud.
He's the original Daniel Jackson from Stargate. Still great job there. Even though the movie, was good, but not anyway. But dude, James Spader, like he's literally just saying the same stuff that like the trailer shows it. It's like James Spader is gonna make the show because this guy's gonna have all the fun. He's gonna be like the voice in Vision's head. And I thought that Ultron was grossly underutilized. I think they should have kept him around for more than one movie. Like the What If episode
I love
that I
Paul
saw with
Bettany
him was
saying
better
this.
than his role in the film. But anyway.
Where he's like, "Oh, you're having James Darcy come back as Jarvis, played brilliantly. I mean,
Yes.
not as well as me when I played Jarvis, but he's he's a close second.
He did it in like Agent Carter, like he was in the
He was the
in
original
younger version.
Jarvis.
Yeah,
I would agree. Paul Bettany.
I liked it. I mean, and it works in a TV show. He was in that like failed Constellation show with Numi Rapis on Apple TV.
He
played her
never
husband.
fucking heard of that, but anyway,
It's anyway.
James
It
Spader,
only
we
lasted
love
one
you.
season. Yeah.
Speaking of people we love, Haley Atwell. She
Yay!
really didn't like how Captain Carter was treated in Doctor Strange.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did. I was so
agree.
disappointed with how they positioned her and what happened in that scene. It's so small and she gets frisbeed to death. I felt like that was a complete disservice to the character. I agree. Like it was kind of.
100%.
I mean, here's the thing. Most of that scene was bullshit. I still defend Reed like letting that out because like he's an egotistical fucking piece of shit. So
Not
of
the way John
course he thinks
Krasinski
he's
played
like
him,
he's
though.
better than this threat they're facing. So
Yeah.
I still agree with him. But even then, they did Black Bolt dirty. They did Captain Carter dirty. They did Photon dirty. They did all of them dirty. Like it's poor Lashana. I still stand by that. Lashana Lynch should have been the Captain Marvel of this universe instead of Carol. But that's just me.
I mean, they did tease us with that at the end of the Marvels, only to probably never bring them back again, which is also a bit of a travesty. But hey, it do be how it be. Marvel doesn't like black characters, or certainly ones that are not Black Panther. So there's that.
And with that geeky guy, we're gonna bring back Caleb's comment. You could just smell and taste the sarcasm off this fucking comment, and I love it.
Yeah. I mean, James Spader loves to play weirdo characters. That's his thing.
Because he's a weirdo.
He is, and he wears he wears that flag loud and proud, which is great. And he's turned it into an amazing career, which is also great because not everybody can do that. I mean, Jeff Goldblum. I mean, another example. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Let's get the fuck out of here. Dan, let's talk about your bullshit that you fucking like to jerk off. Let's go to fucking Business of Hollywood or whatever the fuck.
I mean, calm down now. I don't jerk off to it, but I don't take any pleasure.
You do at this point.
I don't take any pleasure.
You still
in
don't
this.
have your camera on. I don't know what you're doing behind that facade of a.
Oh, I will.
What's Dan? What do you think Dan's doing, guys, behind this little picture? This innocent little picture right here. Come on now.
I will not let the allegations take me down. But
anyway, you have your fun. I'll be.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try to keep this rather quick because so over the weekend, actually, I think this was on Friday. Basically, what happened was it looked like Rob Bonta and David Ellison and their team got on some phone calls, had some preliminary talks about like maybe we should actually do settlement talks. And then on Friday, this all went down, and then they were like, okay, so we're gonna meet for a real meeting on Monday, and so this was gonna happen today, that they were going to actually have talks to try to figure out some kind of plan for maybe a settlement, try to figure out like what Paramount would be willing to give up to settle the case with the attorney generals, and then maybe what the attorney general's plan might have been to make this work. And essentially the day of the meeting today, as it turns out, Rob Bonta just canceled the meeting because he was just like, hey man, I don't think I want to do this because you guys have just been disparaging us over the weekend, and stop playing games. All right, Michael, we'll see you later. But yeah, it's just it's funny because like they first set up a meeting. The lube, I don't know, are you using strawberry? I mean, what is your favorite flavor? But anyway, bro's got the lotion ready. Oh, I mean, I'm sure Just Some Geeky Guy has it ready. That's why I mean, look, if you want my favorite flavor, Just Some Geeky Guy, you're not going to get it, but I would love to hear from you. Maybe you prefer vanilla over strawberry, or the other way around. Depends on which side. Maybe it's more of a how you take it, how you give it situation. You let me know, Just Some Geeky Guy. Or do you even believe in that? Like, two holes at once, all 7 of them all at once. You tell me, how freaky do you get? But as far as Rob Bonta goes, Rob Bonta and David Ellison, they just, I think Rob Bonta knows he's got the leverage right now in this case because he's got time on his side. So he canceled the meeting saying the Paramount, they need to stop playing games. And it's getting to be pretty personal at this point, which is hilarious. Like, this is one of those things where you're like, okay, this could have been something they could have taken care of rather simply, but they obviously have not. So they're not playing games, but I certainly think Rob Bonta is willing to wait him out on this. John, if you want to skip to the next article for a moment, I just want to kind of go through where things kind of stand right now. Oh no, Just Some Geeky Guy. I mean, you brought up the topic, so like I'll answer your question for you. Like that's all on you, man. Yeah, Google. We're not talking about Google, although we should be, considering they might help bring the economy down. But anyway, with the AI stuff and all these super scalers or whatever. But anyway, as far as where the leverage lies on this, John, if you want to scroll down on this quick, I just wanted to kind of go through this because it's interesting. Like where does the leverage lie? And then they have a few different pieces here. Let's just keep scrolling because they kind of divide this up. Who currently has the upper hand? Because Rob Bonta canceled the meeting. So Rob Bonta seems to think that he's got the upper hand, which is why he's like, I'm going to make Paramount sweat it. Now, that being said, I think currently the AGs have the upper hand. Because Paramount, I mean, they've got a bit of an advantage in the sense that they've got a course of support from the theaters chains. They've got Cinema United now saying, let's try to settle this so we don't make it last very long. IATSE and the DGA kind of came out and said, like, under certain conditions, they'd want this to happen. So David Ellison's been obviously
they also have
working the phones.
Don't they also have like all the essentially like the UK said okay, Mexico said okay,
every jurisdiction, including the Justice Department in the U.S. So
right.
Everybody but the Attorney Generals, they've kind of given them the green light. Now they have obviously also been threatening to leave California, which I guess you could say is a tick in the favor of Paramount because they do have some leverage over the biggest source of labor, that is Hollywood in California, so the biggest industry that they have out there. And then of course the bond that they've been asking for from the judge that they want to have the writers and the attorney generals to put up. Chances are that bond is not actually going to happen. September 24th is when the judge decides that. The judge is most likely going to say, no, we don't need this bond, because why would the attorney generals have to put up a bond when they're fighting this case in the interest of the public? So that being said, that's not really an advantage for Paramount, and that will probably disappear after September 24th. The attorney generals, on the other hand, they've got time on their side. I think that's the biggest advantage anybody has here. And then the other thing is, the attorney generals, what they want, I mean, Rob Bonta is like, he keeps coming back to this. He's like, structural remedies versus behavioral remedies. Because everything that David Ellison seems to have promised so far is what you would consider behavioral remedies, like saying, okay, we promise to put 30 movies out every year. We promise to make it a 45-day release, exclusively in theaters. We promise to make these quotas that the directors of, the Directors Guild has asked for. But really, what Rob Bonta is saying, all of that stuff is really hard to enforce. Like if something comes up, hey Chimera, like we can't really, enforce that in theaters. It's going to be hard for us to, or not in theaters, but in court. Like it's going to be hard for us to sue you over not following through on your 30 movies a year promise. Like, how can he sue you? Because you can easily find a loophole and be like, oh, look, we put out 30 movies a year, except like 10 of them were documentaries that probably made less than $1 million a piece. But like, technically, we put them out for that met the 30 movie threshold. It's hard to force that and then actually enforce that in a court ruling, or like try to like make that work in the long term. So I think what Rob Bonta is looking for is structural remedies, meaning you're gonna need to sell some stuff. Like you need to maybe sell off CNN, maybe, you know, keep the studios completely separate in like some way that is more legally enforceable. And that's where what Hunter Iggy was saying before it comes in, because, you know, that's where the rumors are coming in that maybe Paramount might consider selling DC. No credible source in the industry has said this, that Paramount is actually considering selling DC, because DC is one of the golden, you know, piece of IP, the crown jewel that Warner Brothers has. There's no way that Paramount would want to sell that, because that would be a huge source of revenue and franchise IP that they would be letting go of. But that's where the rumor comes from, and it's strictly a rumor right now. The other thing is the data right now is in the favor of the attorney generals, because remember that report came out in California last week, we talked about, that says a lot of jobs will be lost, not just jobs from the studios themselves, the Paramount and Warner Brothers, but a lot of adjacent industries, restaurants and prop houses and other, you know, industries that help to work, you know, help to keep up with Hollywood. Like, you know, the people that work there need to, you know, get groceries, go to restaurants and get dinner and lunch, and all the other, like, you know, vendors that the studios work with. Those jobs will suffer when you go from two separate studios to, you know, all under one umbrella. So I think the attorney generals right now, they've got a lot more on their side, and the biggest advantage is time. And I think as long as the time is on their side, you know, Paramount has to play by their rules. So I think that's where what you've got here is a situation where Rob Bonta can be like, stop playing games, we're not meeting on Monday. And, you know, David Ellison, I'm sure, being in his position, has an ego, and clearly Rob Bonta is like, well, you know, man, I'm going to turn this into maybe a potential presidential run for myself now, because if I can make this thing actually play in my favor long enough and stop this merger, that would be one hell of a, you know, check mark in my favor if I decide to run for president, which I'm not. This is me speculating. It's more likely that the current governor of California is going to run for president. He's definitely lining up for that. But still, I don't think David Ellison is going to, you know, be able to play hardball and get away with it with Rob Bonta at this point. There's just not a lot of leverage for Paramount. They kind of back themselves into a corner, and then, you know, they've lost the benefit of time, and time is literally money for Paramount right now. So Rob Bonta can take advantage of that.
So get fucked, Ellison.
Yeah.
That's an early get fucked, and fuck you for him.
Yeah.
Because we usually say that at the end of the show. So.
And on that note, I think we'll leave this where it is, because essentially what happened is they set up a meeting for Monday. On Friday, then there was some reporting over the weekend with Paramount supposedly in at least the eye of the attorney generals disparaging them, and so Rob Bonta was like, we're not going to meet on Monday, we're just until you stop playing games. Boy. So, and the time is on Rob Bonta's side, and so we'll see what happens, and we'll follow this story. He can literally do what comes up next. Day. I mean, the rest of the year even, and so yeah. All right,
well, he's really Captain America. I can fucking do this all day.
Yeah, I mean, great Asian representation too. All right, John, let's get to the part of the show that everybody actually cares about, which is, of course, Mount Rushmore Monday. We, I think for the first time in almost 2 weeks, are getting to do this. We have a special
spoiler alert, fucking Mount Rushmore Monday, because it's endings, baby.
Everybody's gonna get spoiled.
We'll see.
Yeah, well, you know, ask Caleb, or maybe, you know, ask just some geeky guy. He loves his happy endings, vanilla and strawberry flavored.
I don't know what I missed, and I'm not even getting into that.
I'm not even gonna go back to it. I'm just gonna keep pounding him in the head with it. But anyway, let's keep going. Oh, say that again. Anyway, I just said that. Let's move on. Mount Rushmore Monday movie endings. Caleb asked for it. We put it in the poll. You guys voted for it. So let's talk about him.
I bet he's like feeling so vindicated right now. The little shit.
Vindication, you know, like he's feeling like exactly Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine right now. Caleb, because
Brooklyn Nine-Nine scenes are never going to win Mount Rushmore Monday. Sorry, Dan, but that's
I know, but you know what? I'm going to keep on trying. You know, that's the benefit of being the guy who runs the editorial side of things. So
hey, I'm not saying I wouldn't want to. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah. No, I know you do. It's just I'm just guessing it's probably not. We're gonna have to really engineer a poll for that to win. Like we have to put in some real shitty options next to it. to
Like
even
Business
get-
of Hollywood articles, best
Yeah.
CEOs, you know.
Yeah, ranking Hollywood movie studio CEOs, ranking, I don't know, I can't even come up with three options that would get any. It's whatever. But John, let's talk about Mount Rushmore Monday, shall we? We're
Yes.
here.
We're here, we're
Vendi-
queer, get used to it.
Yeah, Caleb, that's not how you spell vindication. It's vindication. It's not an E, there's an I there. But
Yes.
Chimera, I didn't see your picks. If you want to send us your picks, send them in the chat. So, movie endings. We got Mount Rushmore's of movie endings. I mean, twist endings, big reveal endings, ranking bank statements. You know what? That would definitely be something.
Ranking
nobody would wanna
social
do.
security numbers. I think
Yeah,
that's a good one.
there you go. That's a good one. That's a good one. Ranking browser histories. Oh, that would be wild.
Oh, we don't want to see geeky guys. His is probably filled to the brim with filth.
Filled, super filthy. Anyway, you're probably not wrong about that, John. Anyway, let's keep going. So, you want to walk us through these Mount Rushmores, John? Movie endings. This is Chuck Rod's Mount Rushmore. We already did a tier list of intro sequences. Now we're doing a Mount Rushmore of movie endings. David Ellison picks. Ugh, yeah. I mean, he did.
No,
produce,
I got
like,
a better
multiple
one.
Mission
David
Impossible
Ellison
movies.
acting roles because he's probably only has fucking 4 of them.
I think he did. No, he legit did like 2. I read up his like profile in the New York Times the other day, and it's not much.
Yeah.
His acting career did not last very long. But anyway,
Just
movie
like him in bed, am I right?
endings, John. Yeah, he's got a family though. I mean, he's whatever he's shooting.
Hey,
you know,
just because you have a
there's-
family don't mean you're not a 2-pump chump. Hey!
Hey,
I bet he
Fair
has
enough.
a little dick. I bet he has the smallest microcock. Anyway.
hey, movie spot. Did you send in your movie? I don't remember if you. I don't think you sent in your movie ending. So you're saying it was fun, but can be hard. So many great endings can be hard to narrow to 4. Well, maybe that's why you didn't send them in this week. We missed your.
So we
Mount
won't have a
Rushmore.
based one. God damn it. Well,
Yeah. It is what
so
it is.
Chuck, this is Chuck Rod, right?
Yep, Chuck Rod.
He has Child's Play, The Mist, Sleepaway Camp, and Sixth Sense. I took a peek at I skimmed the reasoning for Chucky's. I just love seeing Chucky's head get blown off, and honestly, I love that too. The Mist is one of the such a great ending that even Stephen King said, yeah, it's better than my book. Which, to be fair, not much of a high bar since Stephen King is usually not great at endings, but it's a fantastic ending. Sixth Sense, one of the biggest twists of all time. He was dead the whole time. So yeah,
I talked to dead people.
The Mist, Sixth Sense, both great endings. Sleepaway Camp, it's a shocking ending, but it's not a great ending. It's definitely harder to talk about nowadays, even though they didn't mean it at the time. It definitely comes off as a little transphobic, and the trans community is very against this movie because of that. But for the time, it was very shocking. It was very definitely was the reason why people actually remember Sleepaway Camp is probably because of that ending. So yeah, I think so that one's a little bit more awkward, but I think the other 3 picks are pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, The
but,
Sixth Sense is like an essential Mount Rushmore of endings. I mean, that movie is literally known for its ending.
Yeah. That was actually an idea I had. Well, it was similar. It was movie soundtrack, so kind of in the same vein as music. So, but that would be
and
good.
didn't win the poll though, so it's got to win the poll.
Yeah.
Chimera sent in his picks.
But
Liz did
Avengers
Endgame for
Endgame,
hers.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's Die Hard 1. Yeah, I mean Hans Gruber falling off the Nakatomi Plaza. It's not Christmas until that happens. Karate Kid, Pandorum. Yeah, Pandorum has a pretty good ending, from what I know about it. Kind of a interesting little sneaking in a less known movie, but I appreciate it.
I
And
mean, nothing
Karate
like
Kid,
once
good ending.
he falls off the Nakatomi Plaza and then you start hearing Frank Sinatra, "I did it my way." That's how you celebrate.
Sure.
the
Which is
holiday.
ironic because Frank Sinatra was supposed to be the star of that movie. So,
Hey,
you know.
Ron sent in his picks as well. A T2, Sixth Sense, The Dark Knight, and Lion King. Those are all great movie endings.
All great movie. I think
All great movie
Dan
endings.
just came from seeing
You
both
got
Dark
2 of
Knight
my
and
favorite
Lion
movies
King.
in there. I mean, and
Yeah.
again, T2, holy shit, yeah.
I'm seeing that on Friday. I'm seeing that in theaters on
What is
Friday.
it, like the 30th anniversary now?
It's
Is
the
that
35th anniversary.
the 35th?
So
Wow, yeah.
I could have seen it in 3D, but as a guy who wears glasses, the 3D glasses are not great to wear. So I just picked the regular screening because it's gonna be great. I mean, I don't mind 3D movies, but I feel like they're more of a nuisance for me than anything, and they don't really.
It's
add
the
a
eye
ton.
strain for me, and then the screen is half as bright. I don't like that. It's
Yeah.
like it's not active 3D, it's passive 3D in theaters, and it's just not. No.
Anyway, Monique's Mount Rushmore. You got Rogue One. Definitely, like, I love how Gareth Edwards talking about that movie is like, yeah, we kind of just we had them all die. We kind of just kept chugging along, expecting for Disney to stop it, and they didn't. So we just went with that ending. So it's just like, definitely respect that. Usual Suspects, one of the greatest twist endings of all time. Shawshank Redemption, definitely a good feel-good ending. True Romance, I'm not familiar with the ending, but I know Monique is a big fan of True Romance, so I assume
Yeah, I
that's
think
why it's on the list.
so. Monique sent in notes with her picks. I think, or did she send her notes? She did send in notes. So for True Romance, she said one of only 2 truly romantic movies. Apparently, Scott changed Tarantino's ending, the original, because Tarantino wrote the movie. Tony Scott directed it. And damn it all if he wasn't right to do so. So yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, there you go. That's the reason why Monique chose that there. Although she also said the perfect ending to a perfect movie for Shawshank, which I'm sure a lot of people will agree with.
I mean, Shawshank was considered arguably one of, if not the greatest film of all time. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, this is
That
a
is a
really
pretty
good
badass
list.
yeah.
This is a
I mean, The
great
Usual
fucking
Suspects
list.
is another one of those movies that's literally known for its ending, you know?
Which is
So-
a shame because the rest of the movie's really good, even if
It
it
is.
was
No, it is.
starring
It's
and
really
directed
well
by
done.
2 different pedophiles, but you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
the unfortunate
fucking,
part of
and I
it.
love how the scene with all of them laughing in the lineup is because like one of them kept farting over and over
It
again.
was Benicio del
and they
Toro, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
kept laughing.
Yeah.
Well, some of them said Benicio del Toro, and then Benicio del Toro was like, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. But yeah, good list.
Just
Good
some
list.
geeky gaga picks: Inception, Fight Club, Seven, The Godfather. Again, 3 twist end. Well, not really 3 twist endings. There's like 2 twist or reveal endings. Not
Yeah.
really twist, but reveal. Yeah, those are all like,
Well, it's
great.
it's the
picks.
twist and then the ending. It's not really a
Right.
twist ending, a twist, and it's like we're the same person. Yep.
Right.
And which,
Yeah.
by the way, fun fact, my dad, even though he was alive when this movie, I mean, technically I was alive when Fight Club came out. I was like 2 years old. He was alive when Fight Club came out, and there was the whole controversy with Rosie O'Donnell spoiling the movie on her show because she hated it so much. So, and my dad didn't fucking know the twist. He didn't know that Tyler Durden and Edward Norton were the same characters. I'm like, oh my god, I have to show him Fight Club. And so when I showed him, like, I was just like, oh shit. And then I was gonna get my sister to watch it because she didn't know it either, but she's not really a fan of those kinds of movies, so it was harder to get her to watch it. And then she eventually, someone told her the twist, and I'm like, damn it. But another sidebar, sorry, I love it when this happens, when you have like very well-known twists and people in the modern era don't know them. For instance, when I went to go see in high school, when we took a class trip to the movie theater to watch all these short films, and then at the end we watched Psycho, there were people with us who didn't know the twist ending that Mrs. Bates was dead the whole time. So I was like, oh shit, that's so fucking awesome. The fact that people get to experience, it's like, I would have loved to experience that, but it's just like the pop culture zeitgeist of all that stuff of like knowing that twist. But it's so awesome to see like people who don't know it and experiencing with them for the first time. I feel so bad for my family because one for The Departed, all 3 people that watched that movie, my dad and my 2 sisters, they didn't know the twist. They didn't know the twist of Leo getting shot. I knew the twist. So my dad showed them the movie and they were like, oh my god, Leo gets fucking shot. But the thing is, I know it because I'm like, I was on the internet so much and I've gotten that spoiled for me. So when I didn't react, they're like, why didn't he fucking react? And they're like, John, why didn't you react? I'm like, oh yeah, I know he got shot. And they're like, what do you mean you haven't seen the movie? I'm like, you got it spoiled for me. What do you want? And they got like genuinely mad at me. I think I cried. They fucking got so mad at me.
It's only like a
because I
10-year-old
fucking
movie.
knew the ending. And it was just like, yeah, that was not great. But you know, it's hindsight. It was funny. Like it was just like they got like so pumped up, like, oh my god, we have to show you this ending, and then, oops, it didn't work out. Oh well.
Well, Movie Spud did send in his choices while you were talking.
He did. Third Man, of course, got to have a prestige movie in there. You got Parasite, Casablanca. He's looking at you, kid, and then Usual Suspects. Another, had that on there. But yeah, good times.
Casablanca, good one, yeah.
I mean, if you haven't made your sibling cry, like, are you really their sibling? Like, come on now.
Yeah, the only time I've done that is because I got into a fight, mostly with my brother, never with my sister. That was
obviously. But Invasion of the Body Snatchers depends which ending. You're talking about I assume you're talking about the 1978 one, but the 1956 one also has a really good ending. Before like the ending where it's like, you're here already, you're next, and then it goes into the epilogue. But
Sicario also, and I mean Aladdin. Like, you mean Aladdin, like the Disney one? I don't. Yeah, sure, okay.
Well, because it was a nice heartfelt ending. Yeah, like, he could have done a selfish wish, but he decided to free the genie instead. So that's a nice heartfelt ending.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I kind of like have soured on Aladdin growing up because it's such cultural appropriation, but like, it is Disney. So
yeah, what are you gonna? I mean, like, come on, like Disney literally thanked a country that's actively doing a genocide right now. So like, they've done worse things. But I get it. I get that. From that perspective. But right, dude. He's the weeb of our friend group, so of course he has, two anime and Japanese animated films in there. You got Akira, you got Pulp Fiction, you got Tale of Princess Kaguya, which that made me that didn't make me full on cry, but that did make me tear up. That was a very bitter ending, but very good ending. And then Planet of the Apes is like,
I mean, dude,
it's literally on the fucking poster at this point. Like, you can't go anywhere without seeing like humanity. It's just like, it was Earth, because I think in the book it wasn't Earth, it was a different planet, but they changed
they changed it.
So,
which was, I mean, that's the kind of like thing when you do an adaptation that really, especially when it works. Like Battlestar Galactica, they did that
really,
too.
You're on a Mount Rushmore about endings. There's literally a spoiler alert in the corner. Like, come on, man. If you really don't want anything spoiled, don't be here. I hate to say that. I hate to sound mean, but if you really don't want spoilers, then, come on.
But yeah, I mean, that Planet of the Apes ending is kind of similar in terms of how they recontextualize the whole movie, which it's a tricky thing to do, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But when it works, it's like, oh my god.
Like, for instance, I knew the end. Like, again, pop culture. I knew the ending of I knew the ending of The Sixth Sense. So like, what I was trying to do, like, does it still work? Like, does it still work even as a first time viewer? Is there things that I noticed? But like, the way M. Night Shyamalan crafted that movie was, ingenious. Like, I know I hate to say that because it's like, oh, M. Night's fucking, he's not well liked anymore. But the way he did craft that movie was very, very good. And he definitely, I mean, I'm sure, like, if you really dig deep, if you go like frame by frame, I'm sure there's something he fucking missed. Like, literally, people miss shit all the time. The infamous Starbucks cup in the fucking Game of Thrones season 8. Like, come on now.
World Beep got his
great.
Paprika Evangelion.
But yeah, it's definitely, watching that was definitely a very good experience. But yeah, 90s, I had to figure but both endings for both Invasion. The first, I've only seen the first two Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I haven't seen the 90s one or the 2007 one. I've heard both of them are not very good. So
yeah. By the way, I think World Beep got a good here going.
Again,
Evangelion
all
for me especially. Picks. Yeah.
You got all the Japanese animated films, but yeah, great list. Next up, we got Ben's. We have Saw, Wayne's World, Back to the Future,
Saw 3
2,
specifically. Saw 3,
and Men in Black. I don't really know what makes these endings special, but like, well, I mean, like, you do have the the ending. I'm back from the future. Like, okay, that's kind of a
Men in
Cool.
Black, the first one has a nice ending to it, isn't it? The what's that constellation? I'm forgetting. It's like it's
Little
It's got a
Dipper?
really
I don't know.
no. It's something. Anyways, with a nebula. I just remember the first Men in Black. I was like, it's like a really like if they never made any sequels, that was a great standalone film for me. So
Wayne's World, I think, is funny because it's like it could have ended this way, but then it also could have ended with this way. So like that's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know Saw 3. I've never seen it. So.
I also have never seen that particular. I've only seen like 3 Saw movies. Ironically, none
I
of them
saw
were
the
Saw
first
3.
one. I was surprised with how much I
Oh.
liked the first Saw movie. Like
Yeah.
that was actually like a genuinely really good movie. Like shoestring budget, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
Oh yeah, Figure Drawing did something special with his list. We'll get to that later. Don't worry.
but yeah, good.
Unless we already did.
It's
Anyway.
a list.
Yes,
Figure
it's the
Drawing-
planetary sequence that ends in the marble. Exactly, Monique. I was thinking about yes, that's what it was. Thank you, Monique. For
Yeah.
Figure Drawing, we got this is one hell of a list. He did this in tribute to you, John.
Okay.
Figure Drawing very specifically did this. He's like, I'm doing this. He's kind of like doing this like the way that John would do it, where he's going with like lesser known picks.
I picked
and-
like for my list, I picked like 4 very mainstream picks for mine. So
So I mean, well, right. And then his genreable mentions were The Prestige and
okay.
Memento. Maybe more like Caleb. Maybe he's doing something more. I think feels more like. a
so
Caleb
the
would do.
first Slam Dunk, never heard of it. Blood
Mm-hmm.
In, Blood Out, never heard of it. I don't know what the third movie is. I know I saw the
Vesper.
Devil.
The
Okay.
Vesper,
I
yeah,
know
yeah.
I saw the Devil. I haven't seen it, but I know it has like a really good ending. Obviously, try not to spoil it, but if it gets spoiled, I'm not gonna fucking lose my shit. or anything.
It's a Korean horror movie. It's from
Yeah, it's
2010,
Korean horror
so
movie. I've heard nothing but great things about it.
I mean,
so
Korean horror is
that's
like
definitely on my. Well,
generally
of course he knows
pretty
ball.
good.
He picked a basketball movie.
I actually kind of really want to watch Vesper. Like the premise sounds very interesting. I haven't
What
seen it. So I'm not
Vesper?
gonna...
Is that what it is?
Vesper, Vesper. Like
Okay.
like a Vesper, like a motorcycle Vesper. Anyway,
Yeah.
you get it.
Yeah.
Read the times they get lucky now and again. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Good
mean, Men in
list.
Black was
You
good. I
went
love the
prestigious with this one. So
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yes.
Yes, I know. I'm. You know what? I'm gonna add it to my my horror month of reviews for seeing movies for October for horror. So I'll add it to the
Wow.
list.
going.
But yeah, cool, nice. And then Marco's very good. Got Aliens. Great, nice, heartfelt ending that gets ruined by Alien 3, but hey, I don't mind. 7, What's in the Box? Perfect ending.
Yep.
Scream, yeah, it's a good ending. And then Star Wars.
I mean, apparently the revelation caught him off guard. And then for Star Wars, Marco, I think, picked. That's the Empire. Did I put the wrong movie? I think I put the wrong movie there. He meant to say Star.
Well, I
okay.
have had I Saw the Devil on my watch list, but I
So-
kept like forgetting about it. So you just reminded me of it. That's all.
By the way, I made a mistake here. Marco put in Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, and I think I put
Yeah, I
in
was
the
gonna say
OG
I'm
Star Wars
Star
poster.
Wars has a good
Yeah, yeah,
ending, but I'm like
I
I don't know if it's like a great ending, but yeah,
Dude,
Empire
I was
Strikes Back. That's a way
I was
better
doing
ending.
so many. There's like 13
You're good,
of these.
you're
I know,
good.
but he said, I mean, obviously, no, I'm your father. Yeah, we all know why Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back is one of the greatest. Like,
But even then,
endings,
it's a
so.
good like downer ending. Like it's just like
Mhm.
Han Solo's frozen in carbonite. Luke lost a hand. My father is the most evil man in the universe. Cool. Welp. We're fucked, aren't we?
Mhm, mhm.
But yeah,
It really
great
changes
list,
like
Marco.
your
Great
perspective on
list.
the entire franchise at that point. Yeah.
But yeah, nice, Marco. Johnny Rico, of course. Johnny Rico has Starship Troopers on his list. Ready or Not, definitely a very good ending. Toy Story 3.
I mean, it makes you cry.
because it ended
I
was
cried.
where Toy Story should have ended. So yeah, I could see that. And then Days of Future Past,
Days of Future Past, yeah.
where X-Men probably should have ended.
Should have
but,
ended. Just call it a day. Happily ever after. They lived happily ever after. So
But then we wouldn't have gotten Logan, and
it's
that was
fine.
peak.
I mean, but Logan, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I also still don't think Logan technically counts in the same timeline. It's weird how that works.
What? Come on.
Yeah, hey,
Really?
Churchy.
A bunch of evil millionaires fucking exploding in a pool of blood? That was great. I will say
It was one of the better parts of the movie. Yeah.
I mean, I love the movie. I think it's ridiculous. It's a radio silence movie I actually like. Same with it and its sequel. But what I think would have been better for me personally is if it was actually all bullshit, and they're like, so we've just been sacrificing people for centuries for no reason. That would have been
I was waiting
a
for
fucking
that.
great ending.
First time I saw it, I was like, maybe there's gonna be. I mean, they play it straight.
But like, it's still a good ending. It's a lot of fun, and it did lead to a pretty awesome sequel. Plus, it's got Sarah Michelle Gellar in it. So,
yeah, I know, dude. The Ready or Not is like a movie that really straddles the line between terrible trash and like fun. It's
yeah.
like,
But I
that's
will
my
say,
experience with it.
I'll take fucking, I'll take that over the fucking Scream movies any day of the fucking week. Jesus Christ, fuck Radio Silence. What they did the Scream. But yeah.
I mean, we're
good
not doing
list.
TV shows for today's list. Like,
Just
are we talking
movies,
about like
bud.
finales? Like, how would that even work? Anyway,
Ready or Not 2, I feel like had a more, now that everything was revealed, had a more streamlined, like, narrative, but it wasn't as good. Like, I feel like the overall, like, build up and payoff of the first one was a little bit better. Ready or Not 2 definitely had more of, like, a tonal consistency, and I do like the back and forth between, Catherine Newton and Samara Weaving. But I think both movies are good in their own right. Like, I think Ready or Not is a little bit better than Ready or Not Here I Come, but I think both are good movies. Anyway, moving on. We got Colby's Mount Rushmore. We got Shawshank, possibly Empire Strikes Back, possibly Star Wars. We don't know until Dan says so. Good Will Hunting, and
no,
Seven.
this one, I think this one is correct. Let me double check. Yeah, no, this one is meant. This is the right one. A New Hope. Yeah.
Well,
the OG.
Scream 1 is great. No. Not great. Scream 1, 2, and 4 are good movies. 3, not so great. It's fine. I don't hate it as much as everyone else does. I hate the radio silence movie. Like, Scream 5, complete utter dreck, and completely shits on the great thing that Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson did. I never bothered with a 6, and I've heard 7 is even worse. So, frankly, the 3 of those movies, any non-Wes Craven directed Scream movie can fuck right off. So, yeah. Again, great list.
I mean, you got Shawshank.
We
7.
went over that. Star Wars. Good,
Yeah.
uplifting ending. Good Will Hunting. I got a thing about a girl. Son of a bitch. Stole my line. But yeah, really good. I will say this is possibly a hot take. Either that or LA Confidential should have won Best Picture in 1997. There, I said it. Titanic, overrated. Anyway,
I disagree with that, but sure. I mean, that's fine.
7. Again, we went over it. What's in the box? I mean, literally, my family quotes that at least once a week. Like, like every time we get an Amazon delivery, they're like, "What's in the?" Yeah, like every fucking time.
That's probably what just some geek guy was trying to figure out earlier when he was asking me about vanilla or strawberry. But anyway. Let's keep going.
But oh, thank you, Monique. I appreciate that. Oh, The Omen had a really good ending, downer ending, but a good one. Poor Gregory Peck. But then we got Nelson's. We got I guess that's Empire. You got Inception. You got The Two Godfathers. Bro really had a peak list. This might be the best one out of all of them. I would say Monique's is probably my favorite, but like this might be the best. It's just like literally the two greatest films ever made. The greatest one of the greatest science fiction movies of all time. And then I can't say anything for Inception, but like considering it's Nolan, I'm gonna assume peak.
Inception is an ending people still talk about today. It's like there's not a lot of movies from like the 2010s or like that people talk about in that way. Yeah. Great list,
but it's a movie from what I've heard that is more than just the ending though. It's a great movie.
Oh no, absolutely, dude. You need to see Inception. Like you have to see Inception.
After my Spielberg binge, I'm almost done. I just watched BFG today. It was mid. I have The Post, which I'm not excited for, and then I have West Side Story, and then I'm done. Then I'm gonna watch all the Cameron movies I haven't seen, which is just one. It's just The Abyss. That's the only one. It's the only James Cameron movie I haven't seen. And then I'm going to watch all of the Nolan movies I haven't seen, sans The Prestige, because I'm going to go see the re-release that's coming out in January. So,
nice.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm going to see it. gonna see it.
Well, next up we
But-
get to Caleb's picks. This should be fun.
We have Big Fish, The Straight Story, Stand By Me, and I don't know what that third one was.
Magnolia. It's Magnolia.
Oh yeah, that's a good list. I mean, Big Fish. I don't know if it's a great end. I mean, I really like Big Fish. I don't really remember the ending though. I've never seen The Straight Story.
Caleb
Stand By
said-
Me, bittersweet,
Yeah.
but I've never seen Magnolia either.
So Caleb said that Big Fish is possibly the most beautiful and bittersweet movie ending out there. Such a simple idea for an ending, yet it's perfectly done by Tim Burton. I'm not gonna read the rest of that because Caleb sent in more because I think that will be a spoiler. He calls Straight Story the most normal Lynch movie, a simple road trip movie about an old man driving a lawnmower across many roads to see his dying brother. And when he does, it's absolutely effing beautiful and some of the finest pieces of acting out there. So, I mean, Magnolia is not. I mean, you should, if you guys haven't seen it, watch it for even just the ending. But it's a good movie nonetheless. Beautiful movie. And then I mean, Stand By Me apparently is Caleb's favorite Stephen King movie ending. So
It's.
there you
I
go.
mean, it's definitely. I mean, it's one of the best King adaptations of all time. Like
Yeah.
that's like top 10. I mean, literally, Stephen King had to like go outside for like a couple minutes to like gather his thoughts, and then came back in and told Rob Reiner, he's like, "That's the greatest adaptation of my work I've ever seen." And he's like,
Nice.
"I will only." And then when they were working on an adaptation of Misery, they're like, He's like, "I only want Rob Reiner to direct that," and he did. So, and he made two of the greatest King adaptations of all time. So,
Yeah, perfectly cast, as Monique said. All right, now we move on. I believe we got Liz up next.
yeah, this is a list.
I think
It's a
it's a
good
good list. She's got The Dark Knight Rises. I was surprised that Liz said that she was inconsolable in the theater by the end of this movie because, I mean,
Yeah,
for me,
I mean,
the ending for the. Okay, I know you're gonna go sarcasm, but I'm like, I thought The Dark Knight Rises was a great trilogy capper for me personally.
Yeah, no, I think it was. I think it's. I
yeah.
don't think it's as good as the previous two movies, but it's still a solid movie. It's just
I
like
mean-
the ending. Someone, I forget who said this, but it was like what it should have ended with was just Alfred looking off, smiling, and then it cuts to black, and I'm like, that would have been a much better ending.
I'm okay with it because I thought it was really poetic because it kind of pays off. Again, Nolan does everything. It's very character heavy based, like in terms of you want to ground it in the characters. And I think here's the thing. All of that could have just still been Alfred's vision. Like it wasn't, I mean, you could take it as like he literally saw Bruce Wayne with.
But he also saw
Kyle,
fucking
or-
like Catwoman, so you know.
No, I know. I thought it was a very poetic ending. If you love that franchise, then The Dark Knight Rises, I think, it just had a lovely ending. The Breakfast Club ending is like iconic just by the whole, like, you know, like again, it's like a trope at this point. That's how iconic the Breakfast Club's ending is. Avengers Endgame, I think Liz has seen that movie in theaters more time than any other movie in her life, so I totally get it. The Avengers assemble. Whoa! And you know, as soon as Thor yells, from there everything on is just iconic. So, and I Am Iron Man, I'm sure Liz cried over that all eight times she saw the movie in theaters.
10 times.
And then
No, she saw it 10 times.
10 times. Wow, even better. And then
Yeah, I
Project
don't know
Hail
about
Mary.
that.
I'll be honest with you, Project Hail Mary, I think the fact that Liz that's a ballsy move to put it in there. Like being the most recent movie on any of our lists, but I think it's great because that movie's ending and that movie itself is going to age really well. Like I genuinely, every time I come across a short, the goodbye stuff, and like then they start to do the dance, I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like not, it is genuinely. And then also the question that he asked at the end, and then you got the little alien. Well, you know what are they? The Erudites? What are they?
Iridians, I think.
The Iridian kids. I'm like, it's the love of learning. I'm like, I have such an insane respect for teachers and the role that they play in our society, that the way that movie ends, I'm like, that is everything that is right about how our society is at a time when people seem to have a hard time coming up with things that are good about how the society, the civilization that us modern humans have created. So I think Project Hail Mary is a great ending to that movie. Not a twist ending, although you could say it's a bit of a twisty ending in terms of how things play out, but like, if you haven't read the book, but it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful ending. So yeah, let's go to the next one. Hey,
it's your
dude,
list, Dan.
it's my list. I got two. I didn't realize that this was by accident that I ended up with two Leonardo DiCaprio movies, but
And two Nolan movies.
And 2 Nolan movies. There you
Like
go.
most
Hey,
of this
Fuki.
list is either Leo, Nolan, or both.
Yeah. Agree to disagree, Fuki, and that's fine if you disagree with what I just said. But my Mount Rushmore movie endings, I put in Shutter Island because again, I feel like the best way I can describe the ending without giving away how Shutter Island ends,
It did get spoiled for me, not gonna lie.
It did. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like,
But
here's
I
the
mean,
thing,
I
though.
still love the movie. I still think it's a great movie, but it's like a known ending, so yeah.
So the thing about Shutter Island's ending is there is so much nuance to it. You're not going to understand everything that it means the first time you watch it. You have to watch the movie back a couple of times, maybe even 3 times, to truly understand all the ramifications and how it recontextualizes and contextualizes the character in that moment, as well as what played out leading up to that point in the film. To me, Shutter Island's ending is one of the most devastatingly beautiful endings to a movie that is also incredibly haunting. And it really makes, like, I think that ending does a better job of putting the rest of the movie together than any movie ending that I've really seen. Inception, I mean, I know you haven't seen it, but like the Inception ending is one of the most iconic endings for a modern sci-fi movie of all time. And to me, Inception's ending is again perfection. For the ending really underscores how great of a film you just watched, that it puts you at ease. Like, I'm gonna make this comparison because we were kind of in the after dark hours of Oh So Curious here on DCU Daily, but I'm like, a perfect movie ending should be like how you feel after an orgasm. You're just like, melting into your seat and just falling asleep, or wanting a pizza. And the Inception has one of those endings where it just makes you be like, okay,
a new
it's a full
description
meal
for a happy ending. Hello.
There you go. Now, The Dark Knight, I think, is one of the best endings to a movie that I've ever seen. I can recite you the whole monologue, and it's been quoted to death, but it is simply the best Batman movie ever made, and probably I think the best superhero movie ever made, with the best ending to a superhero movie, which if they never made a prequel to that film, that would have been the perfect way to leave Batman, as like, he's the Dark Knight, he's a watchful protector, he's always going to be in the shadows. It was like a happily ever after, except it wasn't. And it just, again, incredibly poetic the way the movie's written. I always say that movie has literally no fat on the bone. It's all flesh and meat and bone. The pacing is perfect, and it ends perfectly. Now, the one on the far left is obviously one movie that a lot of people probably don't recognize. For me, DDLJ, Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge, is one of the most iconic. It is the epitome of what, like, if you want to tell somebody, hey, you want to know what a Bollywood movie is like, that's the first movie I'd recommend to them, because it's the quintessential rom-com, and DDLJ is a movie that has had an incredible effect on and an impact on Bollywood and then Indian filmmaking in general. And I feel like it's better made than most any other rom-com or romance movies I've ever seen. I know people have varying degrees of opinions about Indian movies, whether it's Bollywood or Tollywood or Collywood or any other part of the many film industries that make up Indian film. Om Shanti Om, I've seen it. It's a pretty good one too. The ending to that movie, a little overacted. It's an adaptation of a different movie that also got readapted a year after Om Shanti Om came out, but Om Shanti Om was mostly a parody of the original thing that it was based on, which was not called that. It was called, I think it was Dud, or anyway, not Dud. It was something else. But Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham K3G is also one of my favorites. It's got an emotional wallop to it. It's more melodramatic by Hollywood standards, but I go back to that movie and its soundtrack all the time. So, but yeah, Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge is one of my favorite. I grew up with this movie, so yeah. I mean, Sholay is good. Sholay's got a good ending. I don't think it's better because that's my opinion. I grew up with it. Sholay just celebrated its 50-something anniversary.
Don't worry.
So yeah, it's coming up. Don't you worry, King Sport Cal. But yeah, Sholay is another one. I mean, if you want to do like a whole Bollywood theme thing, I can go through so many. For you, Ron, Sholay is a good Bollywood movie. That's fine. I grew up with it. My dad loved it. I mean, it's like, I feel like RRR took a lot of inspiration from the whole, like, the two guys, best friends going on an adventure, and a Western Bollywood movie, and in the sense that it's a Western, like a cowboys almost, except not, because it's India, but like, anyway. And yeah, I mean, people have varying degrees of opinion about Indian movies, but this is my Mount Rushmore. Jay and Viru. Sorry, I forgot the name. I mean, and rest in peace to Dharmender, who passed away. I think, was it earlier this year or late last year? So just the great Amitabh Bachchan is alive. Well, obviously Hema Malini is still around. But yeah, anyway, so that's my little, tangent on Bollywood movies. But DDLJ, they actually had a reference for it in Miss Marvel. If you saw Miss Marvel, where like she talks to her like the cool Indian kid who brings out like a sports car, and she's like, "Oh, I think DDLJ is overrated. Bazigar is really red sad." I'm like, Bazigar hasn't been playing in a movie theater for 25 fucking years. Actually, more. DDLJ has been playing continuously in at least one movie theater in Mumbai since the day it came out, which is an all-time record. It's a Guinness World Record. Like to this day, this movie is now 30 plus years old. And yeah, the two of the best. I mean, Shah Rukh Khan is probably the most popular actor in the history of Indian cinema, but certainly a lot more than that. I know, Ron. Maybe
that's why he's
a couple other people know
educating
this
us.
stuff. So
Ron, that's why he's talking about it.
anyway, I'm kind of speed running it, but I think Shutter Island, The Dark Knight, Inception, and DDLJ make up a good chunk of like my personal filmography favorites over the years throughout my lifetime so far. So yeah. Anyway, if you guys haven't, then you're very welcome to go check out any of those movies because they all have great endings.
Yep. Anyway, now we get to mine. Yay. So for me, I just went through like my top 10, top 20 favorite movies, and I'm like, I'll just pick 4 really good endings. Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead, is like quintessential shock horror. You think the threat's all over, you think we're all done, Ash is gonna go out into the sunset, he's finally gonna be free of this curse, and then nope. Go fuck yourself, because this is a Sam Raimi movie, and even though Sam Raimi hasn't had a name yet, boom, he's gonna give us a Sam Raimi goddamn ending. And there's been a lot of like mythology in regards to the ending, but a lot of people are like, oh, he ran at him with a motorcycle. It's like, nope, Sam Raimi mounted the camera on a 2x4 and jabbed it into Bruce Campbell, and that scream at the end, it fed into the sequel very differently. But yeah, it was essentially just such a fucking phenomenal ending. It just like it's one of my favorite endings. Although I did consider putting Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a good shocker ending, but it's very much bittersweet. The Evil Dead is full on bitter. But yeah, I would say Texas Chainsaw Massacre is definitely an honorable mention. Like Gunnar Hansen just being so fucking sick of this movie that he was just like going fucking insane with the chainsaw, and then threw the chainsaw into some bushes because he's like so done with this fucking movie. Same with Marilyn Burns, who was like laughing incessantly because she's like, we're finally done with this movie. It was like literally one of the most torturous shoots of any movie in cinematic history, and both of them were like just so done, and that kind of weirdly helped the ending and how fucking phenomenal it was. But for me, The Evil Dead, I preferred that as a movie. It's one of my favorite movies. It was one of the many movies that really catapulted me to really want to become a filmmaker. I wanted to for a while, but then The Evil Dead, learning about what they went through, again, another torturous shoot, is like just phenomenal. And I think I will say this, The Evil Dead is a movie. If you want to become a filmmaker, if you want to make movies in any capacity, writing, directing, any part of the crew, any part of the cast, like I would say more so for crew than cast, you need to watch The Evil Dead. Like that is like quintessential. The Evil Dead is quintessential, literally the Murphy's Law of movie making. Every single possible thing that went wrong went fucking wrong, and you have to be mentally prepared for that when you're making a movie, because the fact that any movie is made is honestly a miracle in and of itself. But The Evil Dead is just one of those movies, and it just like the ending just really I love just watching the ending. Like I'll just be like, I'm not feeling great, I want to go watch the ending to The Evil Dead, so I'll look it up on YouTube and I'll watch the ending. But then American Psycho, great ending in terms of questioning everything. Since I haven't seen Inception, like is the top still spinning, even though Michael Caine kind of ruined that. Like, yeah, no, it's real. Shut the fuck up. But American Psycho, people still like dissect it to this very day. Whether it was all a dream, whether it was all real, what is actually happening, and the way Mary Herron executed that was just brilliant. I know in the book, I think it's more obvious towards one or the other. I forget what it was. I think it was like more obvious that it was all a dream. But I think this was like more of like the ambiguity that, because like Mary Herron was like, I just wanted it to be ambiguous like the book was, and she's like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, it was definitely this one thing. But I go back. The Innocence is another one that I considered as like, if TCM is like an honorable mention for a shocker ending, for a good horror ending, then The Innocence is one where it's like questioning like what's real and what isn't. Literally, I thought of one thing when I first watched that movie, and then the second time I watched The Innocence. By the way, if you haven't seen The Innocence, it's genuinely the greatest ghost story ever put to film. So fucking go watch The Innocence. It's absolutely incredible, where it's like you're questioning everything. So I wanted like a good questioning everything kind of movie, and American Psycho is one of my favorite movies. So, I wanted to put that there. Then I have The Iron Giant, great bittersweet ending. Like, he makes this noble sacrifice. He's Superman by the end of it. The Iron Giant is still the greatest Superman film that does not hold the name Superman. So, just get Brad Bird to fucking direct a Superman movie, for God's sake. Like, guys, just fucking do it. And just, it's definitely just a great, like, oh, but he's still living. He's still, he's an alien. So, he's gonna, honestly, fuck, now I want to rewatch The Iron Giant, but a good, mainly sweet ending, a little bitter, but like mainly sweet, because it's like the fact that, and then just like that music swelling, and it's like he's okay, and he's gonna build himself together, and how long that's gonna take, I don't know, but it's just like a very nice ending. And I pray to fucking God we never get a sequel, because it's just like ambiguous. We know he's alive, he's okay, we're good. And then Train to Busan, I've seen this twice, and just absolutely inconsolable by the end of it. Like, I'm just getting teared up just thinking about it. It just hits me and refuses to let up. And it's just absolute. It just like, it's such an onslaught of horribleness in terms of the horror of it all. And it just fucking absolutely kills me. Like, but in a great way. Like, I wanted a good tear-jerking ending. Like, Rudy is a great one. Wrath of Khan, The Fly, Terminator 2, all good, crying worthy endings. Logan is another one. But Train to Busan, I've seen it twice, and I've been in absolute fucking inconsolable tears by the end of it. It just, if you've seen it, if you know, it's a, like, Train to Busan, I still stand by, is the greatest zombie movie ever made. One of the greatest horror films ever made. If you have not seen Train to Busan, please, for the love of God, literally stop watching this stream right fucking now and go fucking watch Train to Busan, because it is truly a brilliant cinematic achievement from beginning to end. Even my sister, who fucking hates zombie movies, fucking liked Train to Busan. So that's saying a lot. So I didn't include The Thing. It's a great ending, but I think I think it's a really good ending. Like, I love that movie. It's a perfect movie to me. But yeah, I didn't want to go for that one. I wanted to go for like a shock ending, a question everything ending, bitter sweet, mainly happy ending, and then a ending that made me cry. And those were the biggest ones of all of these. But Snowpiercer, Snowpiercer is a good movie. Like, it's a good ending, like, hopeful ending. But I don't know if I would say, oh, I gotta have that ending. These are like good. These were the ones that I personally love. Like, I wasn't trying to go for like, oh, The Mist, Fight Club, Seven, Shawshank. Like, oh my God, great endings. I'm like, these are just some of my favorites. So I love them all. Great. Watch all these movies. They're all brilliant. Yeah. Anyway. You already let us know some of your guys' choices, and we thank you for that. But that is the end of Mount Rushmore Monday, and well, now it's into Tuesday. But thanks for watching. We are gonna move on now, because now we have to get into something a little bit quicker. That is the quick hits, ladies and gents. Let's get into the quick hits. Because the first thing, speaking of a good segue, Ridley Scott says, "I'm not a filmmaker, I'm an influencer." So he had this to say, every time you are vulnerable, Scott said when asked to identify a through line in his work, "I also never want to repeat myself, and all my films have been on the money. I've been ahead of the game frequently, and if you're ahead of the game, you're an influencer, so I'm not a filmmaker, I'm an influencer." Ridley, just retire. Jeez, for the love of God, just stop. Then Godzilla x Kong Supernova test screening details suggest the MonsterVerse is finally getting serious. And the day the MonsterVerse gets serious is the day I stop watching, because I don't want this to be serious. If I want a serious Godzilla movie, I will go watch the Godzilla Minus movies, because Godzilla Minus 1 and Godzilla Minus 0, first one's peak, second one's probably going to be peaker, so I frankly don't want the MonsterVerse to finally get serious, because that's boring. Why the fuck do we want, like, they're literally schlock B movies. I don't want them to be serious. Like, why do we fucking need this shit to be serious? Yeah. All three of them have compared it to something of a blend of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong. So I do hope that it's not more serious, because that would be stupid. But anyway, good stuff. But they said the stakes are a little higher and more serious, and the world is a little more expansive and developed. So I just hope it's not. I just don't want it to be like the first movie. I fucking hate the first movie. It's so bad. Like, it's so terrible. It's kind of like what Lanterns is. It's just embarrassed to be what it is, and it's just like, why do you exist? So it's just like, whatever. Speaking of why do you exist?
By the way,
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days sequel, because why? Like, literally one of the worst
Paramount
rom-coms
wants 30
ever
movies a year.
Like, I literally saw a clip from this movie, and it was more horrifying than most of the horror movies I've seen. It was. This is literally like. Right. Honestly, this should not be classified as a rom-com. This should be classified as a fucking horror movie, because like I saw like you know, you go through like Facebook Reels and shit like that, and they have like, you know, movies with AI piss filters over them, and I saw a clip from it, and I'm like, this is literally my nightmare. Like, this is why it's pretty much like, I would say this isn't the reason why, but like, this is like the encapsulation of like why I don't date, because I'm like, I'm not dealing with that headache, not dealing with that at all, not. And if this happens to like a reasonably attractive Matthew McConaughey, the guy with this face is definitely fucked, and not in the good way. So I'm not dealing with that. And frankly, fuck this movie, fuck this sequel. I will never watch it, because this movie is horrifying.
I was gonna say about what was the previous story about Godzilla versus Kong. I'm like, dude, you fucking jumped the shark the moment you put Godzilla in the movie. What the fuck you mean is more serious? It's like it's just, come on. Like, I was like, just stop bullshitting us. Like, it's like, I would use different words, but anyway.
I think it means like, you know, the stakes are higher.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But they were like, oh, you know, the last movie went over the top. I'm like, the last movie went over the top? What about like 5 fucking movies ago? It's like, God,
it's
like,
fucking, it's the perfect B-grade schlock.
Exactly.
Like,
I'm like, don't pretend that you're making anything that means more than like, you know, go to the movie, dump a bunch of popcorn in your face and enjoy a bunch of, you know, fictional creatures fight each other. Yeah, it's like, it is what it is. Like, it's like, even more so than Transformers, they're not meant to be taken seriously. No. So,
and that's well, unless it's like they're actually made by Toho, because
I mean, you know, but that's a whole different thing. We take that seriously, but anyway, that's not the American.
But speaking
stuff.
Of things that might happen,
I take this very seriously.
Don't do this. Don't give me hope. Please don't. I have been wanting this movie for the past like 20 years. Please don't give me. They had that fucking bullshit ass Disney Plus show that nobody fucking watched. Oh, this girl. No, fuck that shit. I want Nick Cage, and he's about to steal the Constitution. Okay,
dude,
that's the. Yeah,
I want Ben Reilly to be back. You know, like that's.
Well, he was back. Spider Noir.
No. Okay, because I'm combining two characters. Because his name is Ben, and I forget their last name, and then Riley is his best friend. So remember, I was like,
I'm just kidding.
But dude, I wouldn't mind seeing Diane Kruger back in this franchise.
Bro, I want to see 10 more of these movies. Like, because these literally I will say, I know Book of Secrets isn't as good as the first one, but like these are
fun.
like the best modern
fun.
Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah,
I will
dude, yes.
No holds
They're
barred.
better than the last two Indiana Jones movies.
Oh, yeah,
These 2 movies are better than the last 2 indie films.
And I enjoy Indiana Jones 4, so, you know. But
I mean,
National
okay.
Treasure is peak.
So, I couldn't agree with you more. It's just, I mean, they got Sean Bean in the first one, didn't even kill him. Like, come on. John Turteltaub was giving us hope about National Treasure 3. He had something to say if you want to read into this, because they've announced National Treasure 3 like 6 years ago, and then the show came out, which went nowhere. But apparently, they might have something cooking now, John.
There's a script he and Disney currently like, and there's a plan to bring back everyone to whatever extent we can. My reasoning is like, shit, both of but that fucking Dial of Destiny kind of fucking shit the bed. All right, bring back Nick Cage.
There you go. Before Disney owned Lucasfilm, they had National Treasure. You know.
Yep. I mean, before Disney had Marvel, they had Sky High. You know.
They did. Like the early 2000s IP that Disney had.
Before they had Star Wars, they had John Carter.
They had John Carter, which is depending on if you believe the conspiracy theories, Bob Iger buried really hard so he can get the Star Wars deal to go through. But yeah, anyway, I'm sure Bob Iger's happy owning the Lakers. Let's keep going.
Fucking bitch. Anyway, Black Mirror season 8 starts production as Netflix renews Being, Gordon Ramsay, and Legends. Cool.
Lots more Gordon Ramsay everywhere. This guy is just he makes more money doing TV than he does from his restaurants, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, but Black Mirror though, perfect picture, you know, Christine Milioti.
Yeah, Kristen Milioti. Well,
Some
it
more
would be
of that,
better
please.
if it was from The Penguin, where she kills her family and she's in that dress, but you know.
I mean, you don't have to tell me twice. Damn.
But anyway,
like you said, John, some characters made the wrong choices in their respective stories.
But in terms of, speaking of renewing, apparently The Gentleman has officially been renewed for season 3 as first season 2 trailer drops. I'm looking forward to pushing the boundaries further. Guy Ritchie says. I would say stick to TV, bro, because your movies aren't working out.
T.O. James has been a great part of this. I think the original movie had Matthew McConaughey in it.
Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam. I'm pretty sure Hugh Grant was in it.
Right. So season 2's trailer just dropped. They already renewed it for season 3. Now remember, John, we talked about how Meghan Markle might have been joining this show. She was up for a role that was being written specifically for her. And now that they're moving back to the UK, Prince Harry and Meghan. So, but over the weekend, things changed because while the show got renewed for season 3, it looks like Meghan Markle is not gonna end up being in the show.
That is true. That is true. Because that, just like the show would immediately go downhill if that was.
I don't think that would be the case. No, but like I think it was the report, according to the Tina Brown from Vanity Fair and or ex Vanity Fair chief and editor in chief, and currently for the New Yorker. She wrote an article saying on Saturday that the decision was made after intense backlash in the UK to like Meghan returning to acting, which seems so stupid to me that I don't understand why, because like apparently part of the reason why the move to the UK was motivated by her wanting to return to acting, which I mean maybe I'm guessing that's because this show was shot in the UK. It's just stupid. I mean, if that is true, then that's stupid. If that's the reason why, I'm like, you should never let the public dictate what you do. I mean,
yeah, but nobody fucking likes Meghan Markle. She's a fucking bitch. Like, who cares?
I never thought that was. I don't know. I never really caught on to that vibe. I thought she was a good part of Suits, but I mean, obviously she hasn't been acting.
Oh yeah,
because
people fucking remember her from Suits.
Of course they do, because like that show was viral like for years. Anyway,
she wasn't the reason why. Kit Harington apparently has joined Harry Potter as Gilderoy Lockhart because Nicholas Hoult dropped out due to scheduling conflicts.
I'm happy. You know what? That probably means more Lex Luthor, maybe even a return as the
honestly,
Beast.
Here's the thing.
In Secret Wars?
I don't know if I'm even gonna watch this show, but like I will say Nicholas Hoult, that is like pitch perfect casting as Gilderoy Lockhart. Kit Harington, I can't see it. I'm sorry. Like Gilderoy Lockhart, like he's so over the top and charismatic and silly, and that works for Nicholas Hoult. Kit Harington is always milquetoast. He's always boring.
Yeah,
Like
the dude does not
I don't
have
see him as like
charisma.
this like over the top kind of guy.
Like I'm sorry, but Kit Harington wouldn't know what charisma was if it hit him in the face.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, good. I thought you were gonna yell at me or something. That's why I wanted to get all my shit out.
No,
because I
dude,
thought you were gonna yell at me like, "Oh, Game of Thrones, though." Yeah, and he was fucking milquetoast on that too. Fucking dude doesn't know how to act.
No,
and he's also apparently an asshole. So like, you know.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, he's probably not coming back to Marvel either as Black Knight. I was gonna say though, Nicholas Hoult probably this means either he's coming back. Well, he has a million other movies. He's got the like bank heist movie coming out. I think from Amazon.
Yeah, How to Rob a
MGM.
Bank.
That looks amazing.
That looks like. Okay, calm down.
Sorry. It looks a lot of fun. Maybe not amazing, but it looks like a lot of fun. Hello, Caleb. Welcome back. But yeah, I mean, Kit Harington. Look, he's more of a TV actor anyway, so I suppose this works out. But like you said, he is very much inferior to both Nicholas
I feel like Nicholas Hoult, he got a bunch of backlash and is like,
And
you know
Kenneth
what, let me
Branagh.
just
Yeah.
leave and I'm gonna head out. But it's just like Nicholas Hoult would have been so fucking good though.
Yeah.
Like I get it, people don't want to be certain people to be part of the show because of obvious reasons, but like I'm just saying, like, as a, you know, kind of distancing myself from that, which isn't great, like, 'cause it's an important discussion to have. But if we're just talking about it surface level, Nicholas Hoult would have been perfect for Gilbert Lockhart. Without
dude,
doubt.
he plays such a good shithead, and like this
absolutely,
would be
it's just such a
right there.
fucking great douche. And that's the thing, it's like he's just like a shitty. Gilderoy Lockhart is the epitome of douchebag with a capital D. And Nicholas Hoult, like, again, from what I've seen of The Menu, that's another horror movie I'm probably gonna watch in October. Finally,
he's so good in that.
It's just like, again, just a shit guzzling fucking asshole that it's just
so
like,
it's a lot of fun
and
very
Lex
easy
Luthor
to hate.
too. Lex Luthor, I mean, look at that, like, he's just so over the top, but like perfectly, and I'm just like, ooh, love that.
He knows how to make you hate him.
Lockhart energy, and then Kit Harington, who has never fucking emoted once in his entire career. Like, the man is known for Game of Thrones and shitty action movies. Like, why?
Yeah.
It's just It's just like, oh, he kind of sort of has a little bit of TV star power, and that's it. That's why we cast him, and he's cheap, probably. So, you know.
Yeah, this is definitely feels like a downgrade.
100%. Speaking of downgrade, Billie Piper as the Doctor. Billie Piper reveals whether she's playing the next Doctor following the Regeneration cliffhanger. Rose Tyler in hiatus. Sorry, that's a really cryptic answer, but because I'm not currently filming Doctor Who as the Doctor, I can't lie and say otherwise. So it's kind of sort of essentially no, but like I don't know how they're gonna fucking deal with that, because like they should have just ended it with like Shudigawa just like the glow and then that's it. Like they shouldn't have fucking. This was just such a way to like get people. Oh, we're bringing Billie Piper back, but this time she's the Doctor. And it's like, oh god. And then I gotta see this terrible like screenshot of her face. Like, oh, why are you making my girl look like that? This is just a terrible screenshot. But yeah, just not great. I feel kind of bad for her. I feel bad for the show. It's just not great. Anyway, speaking of British TV shows, Edward Bluemel is Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot in BBC BritBox first look image of Hercule. I know I'm not pronouncing that right, but I'm not even going to try. But the 6-part series set to debut in 2027 and produced by ITV Studios Mammoth Screen will tell stories from the early years of the famous fictional Belgian detective, hence why he looks so young. Yeah, cool. Here's to that. Go watch it. My parents would probably watch that. A Ghost from the Past returns in new Slow Horses season 6 trailer. Dan, where are you? Because I don't give a fuck about Slow Horses because I don't watch it. As anyone associated with Slow House is seemingly marked for death, a character who is believed to be dead appears in the flesh. So cool.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I haven't caught up to season 5 yet, so I'm a little bit behind.
Dan, you're leaving me out in the dark here. I can't.
Sorry,
talk about this. You're the Slow Horses super fan here.
I am very interested to see which character they bring back. I have a feeling it might be Olivia Cook's character, but I haven't seen the trailer because I don't want to spoil what happens by the end of season 5 yet. But I'm gonna catch up by the time this comes out. Cannot wait, and I'm so glad that they're gonna be going on for a while longer. It doesn't look like this show's ending anytime soon. Right there, you got your next James Bond. Hire that man, please. But Jack Loudon.
Well,
Anyway.
the problem with hiring him is then he won't be able to film Slow Horses. So
Well, maybe the show will be done by then. I don't know. Like that movie's not coming out anytime soon.
anyway, so you have a bunch of actors saying who would Spider-Man beat the Green Lantern. They're pretty much like strongly disagree.
I mean, seriously though, who do you think would win in a battle between Spider-Man and the Green?
Depends on who the writer is. That's what the answer always is. It depends on who.
Yeah.
If it's a Marvel writer, Spider-Man's gonna win. If it's a DC writer, DC's gonna win.
Yep.
That's always what it is. However, if we're talking power dynamics, the thing is, you'd be like, oh, the ring. Here's the thing: Spider-Man can take the ring off, and then he's just a guy, and then bam, punch in the face. You're done. Like Spider-Man has powers, like in his DNA. You just take the ring off and you're just a guy, and then Spider-Man has like the force of 1,000 men behind him and just decks you in the face. Like literally, it's like said like Spider-Man's strength is like one of the greatest in the Marvel universe.
The dude
like,
was fighting the Hulk. Like
you
he
know?
literally and he won. Like come on. Anyway.
Yeah.
But
so,
I mean, look, the
I'm
lantern
sorry,
with the
but, like,
ring.
I
With
know
the ring
you could
though,
probably,
like there's a lot that can happen.
And I love how Kelly McDonald, he's a boy, and I'm like, yeah, fucking and first of all, well, technically he's a young adult now, so like, and they're practically like fucking him and Jon Stewart in this are practically the same fucking age. So you know, like maybe like 3 years apart, but yeah, it's just like if I were to say it as even as a DC fan, as a Green Lantern fan, Spider-Man's winning that battle, bro. Like. You're just a guy. Like you could just take the ring. He could just whip, take the ring off. Boom, you're done. No, but like, come on, taking a ring off, especially Spider-Man can do it. Like literally, the scene in Spider-Man 3 where he's grabbing the ring and he manages to fucking grab it. Like, come on now, it's not even a question. But you are living a moment of cinematic history so important that it may not happen again in your lifetime. All right, fucking calm down. Yeah, just because the box office is good doesn't mean, like it's the greatest.
Well, no, I was gonna point out
history
something
of
though,
cinema.
John. I mean, you got a lot. I mean, we talk about like movie stars are no more, and it is kind of funny though. Like we're getting in the same year, we got a Spielberg movie, a Nolan movie, a Denis Villeneuve movie. These are all directors that are releasing movies in the same year, which doesn't happen very often. We got like Robert Pattinson releasing probably 3 great movies this year. You got Tom Holland. I mean, less so Tom Holland in terms of like acting greats, but like yeah, it's pretty cool. And also, I was gonna mention this earlier. The box office report, I wasn't on the show. We're probably on our way to beating the all-time record for the domestic box office total that 2013 set. Because this year we might be on our way to beating the summer record of all-time summer record, and then that would put us on track to beat the all-time record of the box office, which is like, not only is it a recovery from the pandemic, it's now like we're all of a sudden going to potentially like set a new record, which is crazy. So I mean, yeah, it's a great year for the movies. Like I think the reel was implying that maybe 2026 would be something that future film school kids will learn about in books, like how it kind of turned things around for the movie industry, which I kind of sort of agree with. But there's still 4 more months of movies to go, so I guess we'll find out as how that all plays out.
Yeah. But win for cinema and all that. Speaking of cinema, we have this. We have this video of your boy going in donuts, and we're gonna look at. You're gonna see this footage, bros. You're gonna see this video fucking a lot. We're gonna watch this probably like 400 more times tonight. So, but you gotta stay tuned for that because that's for DCU Daily. And remember, with great power comes great responsibility. No.
And when you take on the responsibility, great power will come.
Yeah. And the great D will see you now, John. Let's get to that part of the show.
The great Gunn, blessed. I don't know.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we
Go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you wanna shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hello there. Welcome on into the DCU Daily portion of the show. Thank you for joining us or sticking around with us. And I see you lurking in the chat, Jalen. Welcome on in. You do a lot of work to stay quiet all the way till this part of the show. I respect the hustle. But yeah, we got a lot going on today. We got to talk about Lanterns. I mean, of course, John's going to give his review of episode 2 that we, you know, if you guys were on with me on Sunday, we talked a lot about, and lots of theories and stuff we got to get into. We also have to get into a bunch of quick hits, a lot of what James Gunn said about the future of the DCU, including the Batman movie, the DCU Batman movie. And then, of course, we do have some news from Dynamic Duo. That's significant because it might have something to do with the DCU. And you know, we'll have a few other Superman related things, and I'm sure if you click the thumbnail, you're looking forward to the part of the show where we talk about Sydney Sweeney. So with that, John, what part of the DCU Daily are you excited about?
I am excited to talk about the What Did Gunn Say? I'm excited to talk about that. Because I have a lot to say about it. Mainly not great, but you know, we'll get into it. I'll try to keep a level head. It is almost 2 a.m, so you know, we'll try to do that. But yeah, I wouldn't say excited, but I just really want to talk about it because I think I have a good stance on that. So we'll get into it when we get there. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about Dynamic Duo because we haven't heard a whole lot about that. So yeah.
Yep. My video keeps freezing. Is that just me? Oh man, I gotta fix that. Anyway, let's get into the quick hits.
Well, the first one that we have is somebody did all of this wonderful, wonderful DC art. Will Rio's art.
Rios, yeah.
And it's fucking good, bro. Like this
It's
is
really good.
See, AI can't do this shit. All right, I'm just gonna say that right now. But yeah, this you have David Cornswell Superman. You have you have Aaron Pierce, John Stewart with a fucking suit that looks better than Kyle Chandler's. But
Well, we
then you
haven't
have
seen John
Batman,
Stewart's suit yet,
which
but yeah.
looks fucking awesome. Love to see it. Then we have more of a like general like Superman one, more like not associated with like a adaptation, just kind of like general comic, and that looks great. That famous, I think this is from Superman American Alien, where he tells the world I love you. Very great panel and one of the most iconic in Superman's history. Then we have Supergirl, which again looks fucking great. Jalen, calm down. But I really like this one. There's more like color composition in this one fucking picture than there was in the entire movie. Then we have goddamn Mr. Terrific. Your circles, they're spheres. They're spheres. But yeah, absolutely love it. Then we have a Catwoman, more of like a sketch panel of like kind of figuring stuff out. So I really like that as well. Really, really awesome. Then we have you
Really
can
good
see
Supergirl
like
stuff.
Lobo in her glasses. That's actually a really good detail.
I like the detail. I zoomed into
And
that.
it's just like she's just looking great. Like I love both. Honestly, I kind of want to make like I want to send these to a friend of mine who's a big like again she hated the movie more than I did, but she loves Millie Alcock as Kara. So I'm like I might send these to her because they look really fucking good. And then we have, David Cornswell and Lex Luthor giving off
get to that.
Star Trek The Motion Pictures poster vibes a little bit. You got the colors and like the split down the middle. Really appreciate that. Looking good.
That's like a very Star Trekian poster. Yeah.
Then we got Batman.
Always.
Looks more like a Ben Affleck Dark Knight Returns kind of Batman. Really appreciate it. And then this fucking awesome one with the Fleischer suit. I love this. This is great. But then we got more David Cornswell with the Skibbity Riz haircut and him transforming into Superman. And then Jessica Cruz. Perfect. Greatest Green Lantern. And then we got this one of Jason Momoa's Aquaman. Honestly, he's giving off more Santiago Cabrera vibes, who was supposed to be Aquaman in Justice League Mortal. So that's cool. And then we got Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane.
Looks
Crypto,
great.
love to see it. And then
Hey.
we got again another famous, panel, but this time with Lex Luthor as with Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. So, I'm something of a comic artist myself.
These are
Sorry.
coming from Will Rios.
I know. I'm sure
okay.
you got great stuff, but this is from Will Rios, and then loving your Supergirl and your Green Lantern. Thank you. But yes, then we have this guy Kez Neller, showing off his stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Dude, I like
But
the
yeah.
Wonder Woman when he got there.
This one, he is a sketch drawing of Gal Gadot.
I
This is
think
one
Gal
I drew when I was
Gadot did a
10.
pretty good
Oh,
job.
this is great. Oh my
Looking the
God,
part,
they
at
have
least.
worse feet than Rob Liefeld.
Is that drawn by Caleb? Never mind.
But I have, celebrate real art. We have shown AI art on the show a couple times. Apologies, but like this is the real shit that we need to be talking about. So yeah, great. Love to see it. But speaking of great artwork, Jake Canto, Superman artist proof prints are available tomorrow. So this, he did a bunch of artwork for Superman and looking mighty fine, if I say so myself. Look at that.
I'd want to buy that.
Look at that beaut right there. Yeah. Look at the detail with Crypto. That's really fucking good though.
And that's an art print, so that's gonna last you like years if you bought it. Yeah.
But yeah, this is awesome. Love to see it. Michaela Hoover, she did a post about the upcoming Daily Planet show that's coming out, The People vs. Gorilla Grodd. She's very excited to bring Kat and the rest of the Daily Planet gang to your television screens. People vs. Gorilla Grodd coming soon from the brilliant minds of Dan Peralt and Ty Yasenda. And Mark Wolfman and Jerry Ordway, this is for you. So I mean they were yeah, she said Mark Wolfman, it's Marv Wolfman, but we've all made that mistake.
Look at some of the panels that she posted. I'm like, I would love to see Michaela Hoover in this show.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this was from the same comic where Supergirl was like, "There's something in your," and there's like, "Kara," and then it's just pointing out that she has had work done. So but I don't think Michaela Hoover's had work done. She's au natural, baby. But yeah, I don't care what anybody says. I know, and I get the arguments. I get the arguments for it. They should be working on the higher brow stuff with Batman and Wonder Woman and other bigger characters. But I'm still excited for this. Like, I could still be critical of the direction, but at the same time be excited for what they do have in store. So, just saying. Speaking of what they have in store, for our boy Nathan Fillion is revealing that Guy Gardner will have a new hairstyle in Man of Tomorrow. He just said we updated the haircut a little bit. So I imagine they're going to tweak the bolt. Like he's probably going to just have a new wig. That's essentially what it's going to be. Just got a new wig. It's gonna, maybe look a little bit cleaner, look a little bit better, but yeah, they gave him more of a budget, so like here we'll up the wig budget a little bit. It's a one wig film? No. But yeah, low fade, love it. Anyway. Why are we talking about this? Okay, I'm just going to say this right now. If you think Sydney Sweeney in a Wonder Woman Halloween costume bought from the fucking Spirit Halloween down the road ignites anything in regards to Wonder Woman, you're frankly a moron. You just need to, like, not be on the internet ever again. Maybe, like,
no, John,
put in a coma or something. just don't be here. Like, we don't need you to be here. Like, just stop.
This is a Jalen special. That's what it is,
But yeah. So yes, we get it. Sydney Sweeney has boobs. We got it. Lots of women have boobs. Every woman has boobs. So I'm just saying, yeah, like this.
John's
Like,
just like
no, it's
sighing
just like the fact that
so
people
hard
were just
right
like,
now.
oh, she's gonna be Wonder Woman. I'm like, you're an idiot. You're fucking dumb. It's in Halloween costume. That's literally all it is. Y'all need to go out, touch some grass, maybe touch some actual tits. Maybe you'll fucking stop ogling ones on fucking the computer screen. You fucking loser. Goddamn. Jesus Christ. Y'all need to fucking just go out and just fucking fuck some pussy. Like, Jesus, you need to get out more. Like, y'all need to just stop. Just stop. Just stop and go. Or dick. I don't know. Maybe you swing that way, but like,
yeah.
Fucking
Not that
Jesus
there's anything wrong with
Christ.
that. But, you know,
it's like, and if you can't find a gal, just
yeah.
buy some. Like, I know it's illegal, but like, you can find a way. Like, just buy some pussy at this point. Like, or just get yourself a fleshlight, because this is the fact that you think that. Like, there are people who genuinely, no, stop. Get some help. Get some real pussy. Touch some grass. You're gonna be fine. Anyway, so speaking of, quick hits, bird blindness, I don't think Langston Fleury was very much happy with this latest episode of Lanterns, because he didn't know what bird it was. There are so many people that suffer from bird blindness, all right, guys? Come on now. But, yeah. Good,
this is a nice crossover, unofficially.
Yeah. I love how Jalen was like, she's a 5 out of 10. Give me Millie. I'm like, honestly, based. I will say, like, I think like Sydney Sweeney, yeah, she's nice looking, but Millie's the whole package. Like, that's what it's just like. Oh yeah, stereotypical blonde chick with big tits. All right, fine, but like Millie's like everything. Like, let's just get that perfectly clear.
I mean, they do say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So
that is true. But I'm just saying, like, Millie's like just chill. Like, she's like, I would like, even though I don't drink, I would like, she's the type of person I'd love to like sit down and have a beer with. Like, she is just gives off that energy. She's just cool. She's just like effortlessly cool, and that's why we adore her on the Oh So Curious show. So, thanks. Anyway, but speaking of attractive people, we got Tim Meadows here. Being like, how do you not know what bird? I have bird blind. Anyway, just silly, ridiculous. Love it. But James Gunn,
he used to eat people in another lifetime.
Yeah,
it was
he loves a good butt. Loves the thighs. A lot of good meat on those.
The key is to eat the evidence. They can't even connect you. This is like Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
But anyway, James Gunn, before we roll into the official James Gunn What Did Gunn Say segment, he was talking about Lanterns. We talked about this a while back, but James Gunn officially said something a couple days ago. Biggest DC debut ever, top 5 all time, and on HBO. Big old congrats to the show. Love to see it, even though I'm not a fan of the show. I'm glad that DC is actually doing numbers. So,
well, I think the reason I wanted to bring this back up is because the significance of this is, while it was a top 5 all-time debut for HBO, where the ratings go from here is really gonna matter, because
yes,
they gotta go up, or they gotta like at least stay the same, because that's gonna mean this show has enough leverage to get a season 2 green light. But great start, and hopefully when we get this week's ratings for episode 2, those will also be great. So yeah.
But yeah, congrats. Love to see it. But now, speaking of what did Gunn say? What did Gunn say? Where is it? Dang, you didn't put it up. Where is it? We don't have it. Oh, there it is. Okay.
It's already up.
There it is. Got it. Remove. It's just like, again, it's so fucking tiny. Can't fucking see it. I'm sorry. But oh my god, I can't believe I just said that. I'm sorry.
Control.
That's how
I love your sex tape.
But yeah. So James Gunn gave a heart to this content that is no longer available. So we don't know what the context is, just that James Gunn loved something. Dan, do you remember what the context was when you grabbed this link?
Yeah, there was a picture of somebody who was dressed as Superman putting out a fire in, I think, Indonesia or something. and James Gunn put a heart on it because it was like, basically it was about how you don't have to be a superhero to save lives or like, be a hero.
Right.
I think.
Okay.
I don't know why it got taken down. Maybe there was some context.
It was probably because it was like an actual fire and
Yeah.
like it was people in danger and all that.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, question from Manos Time. I have a question? Do you think the Lanterns, if it maintains the quality a lot of people like, does it have a chance at the Emmys? Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's an HBO show.
I mean, the thing is,
they're gonna submit
the
it
Penguin
for Emmys.
was nominated for Emmys.
Yeah.
Did it win Emmy? I forget. Did it win any?
I think I want to say that Colin Farrell won, but not.
Yeah, I think he
Christina,
won something. It might have won a Golden Globe or something, maybe. But like,
I forget.
that
Did
won.
she
awards. The Penguin won awards.
Did Kristen win? Kristen Milioti win, or was it Colin Farrell?
So. I think a lot of people were like,
I think
"What?
they won.
She got gypped." I think that's what it was.
But it got a Golden Globe and an Emmy. I remember. I feel like so because there was a speech. Like, so I think I remember the
It
speech.
won 9 primetime Emmys.
9.
So,
all right. Well, that's
okay.
a lot. That's quite a few.
Yes.
So there you go. Yeah. I mean, yeah. To answer your question, yes, absolutely, it has a chance at the Emmys. Considering how well it's been going so far for me, I think if the rest of the season is like this, then yes, the Lanterns could definitely be in
Colin
consideration.
Farrell won the Golden Globe for Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Limited Series. So
that was a Golden, not an Emmy. Though. I think they lost.
But it won
Emmy,
9 Emmys. I'm not going through all 9, but it won.
No, it's fine.
I know it won some Critics' Choice Awards. Because that's what Kristen Milioti won. She didn't. I don't think she won the Emmy, but she won the Critics' Choice Award,
which is still significant. But yeah.
But the next thing in regards to what did Gunn say? Somebody said this. I've seen this, argument for a lot of people. Just a reminder, this is all happening in the same DC universe. And then your boy clapped back with fancy that, and then they did like old school Batman story, the Demon of Gothos Mansion, and then you have like the fucking Superman's pal issue where fucking Jimmy Olsen's marrying an ape. Then we have this fucking like the Changing Man, which was like very much fucked up kind of body horror kind of stuff. And then you got Booster Gold, you got Batman the Killing Joke, you got Justice League. So you have like all these types of like I will say, I will appreciate that about the DC universe is that it is a lot like comics where it's just like the tone is all over the place, and that kind of weirdly works for me. Like because everyone's like, oh, but like the Marvel feels the same, and I'm like, yeah, maybe that's the problem, is that Marvel feels the fucking same and every movie feels the same, is because maybe that's borrowing to the whole superhero fatigue debate, but this is not. It's just like, make good movies and shows that people want to see, James, and maybe they'll actually.
But James has been saying this from day one, that they want to do this. He likes when they mix the flavors, because that's some of the most fun moments in the comics when you do see those crossovers. So yeah, I'm not surprised that he is vibing with that take. I know Hunter Iggy was asking about this earlier in the chat. So there you go, Hunter. We are talking about it. James Gunn loves his mixing the flavors because it tastes better.
Yeah. And then there was this apparent like thing of like Andy Muschietti has reportedly said all work on Batman Brave and the Bold is on hold until after the Paramount Warner Brothers merger has settled.
Now the key was there was no direct quote from Andy.
There's no direct quote.
This
it was pretty much all from this character who said, I suspect that's likely, what's likely is that Muschietti himself doesn't know if he's moving ahead with Brave and the Bold until after the merger is finalized, but he also mentioned if it doesn't pan out, him directing the film, he'll just move on to another film, so he isn't terribly worried. So that's the context of all of this. I did read this, I'm like, I don't think Andy Muschietti said that. Well, your boy James Gunn said, somebody asked him, care to debunk this, and he says it doesn't sound like anything. It doesn't sound like something Andy would have said, but the project is in no way on hold. And then confirmed it again when Cobra Kai Never Dies, who is a frequenter of Gunn's Threads account. Is it true that the DCU projects which are in development are on hold because of the merger? He said no, nothing is on hold. Which brings in another can of worms. So it's just like, oh, you just fully admitted that you have no fucking idea how to make a Batman movie, and you're just like fucking sitting on your own ass, can't and not being able to do anything about it. Oh, okay, so that's what it is. Like, at least with like, you could have danced around the subject of like, oh, things are chaotic right now. Maybe not giving a straight answer, but maybe not giving a straight yes or no. But you could have said, oh, it's chaotic right now, but we're trying our best, you know? But like the fact that you feel like, no, nothing's on hold. Oh, you just suck at making movies then. Okay. Like that's the vibe we're kind of getting right now, is like, you don't know how to fucking make a Batman movie. Of like, come on, this, like the fact that Andy Muschietti is still working on it, Christina Hodson, all these people are still working on this fucking movie, and you just fully admitted nothing's on hold, the merger isn't putting anything on hold, then what's fucking stopping you from fucking making this movie then? The only thing I could think of is stuff out of his control, in terms of like, they're still working on the movie, but like contracts can't be signed for actors until the merger is settled. That's the only thing I can think of, and that's out of James Gunn's control. But like, in terms of what he can work on and what is supposed to work on, is just the movie itself, the writing, the kind of sort of like just trying to get the movie off the ground. They are working on that, but even then, why the fuck is it taking so long? Like, it's Batman, for fuck's sake. Again, I mean, Dan made the joke, I've made the joke. Blade, like, how hard is it to get guy who kills vampires? How hard is it to get guy who dresses up as Bat and beats up people? Like, it shouldn't be that difficult, and yet it feels like it is for you for some weird reason, and you really need to fucking get a jump on that, because I don't know, it just feels weird that like, oh, we're working on it. It's like, okay, now you're taking longer than fucking Matt Reeves takes to make a Batman sequel. Like, what's the holdup, dude?
I mean, I think in this instance, I'm just gonna say like, it was a pretty short statement. Like, he's not really addressing anything individually, so
I get that. But at the same time, it just feels weird to me.
I mean, I think like we've talked about it for months now, and I mentioned it, like when you're directing a movie, that takes up so much of your time. You can really do only very little else. And as a co-CEO of a studio, he might be still looking over drafts of scripts for the Batman or treatments or whatever, but I doubt that work is going as fast as it was, you know, when he was not directing a movie. So again, this is that thing of, if he's gonna be so closely involved in the script development for these movies, even though you have a director and a writer for those projects, like for at least Batman, we know we have one of each, and for Wonder Woman, we know we at least have a writer. You become the bottleneck, you know, like it's so. I think that's more of the issue here. So obviously, technically, all of this stuff is in development, but like you said, John, contracts, if they were big enough, could be a problem. Remember, there's a threshold beyond which they would need Paramount's permission to, you know, sign transactional deals. But I don't think the contracts for actors for the first DCU Batman movie will go to that threshold.
Okay.
But the reported threshold numbers are also kind of hard to judge, because they're coming from like, you know, secondary, tertiary sources. I think with the Barbie movie, it was more significant because, or the second Barbie like sequel, because they'd be getting such a big pay package that I think at that point, I mean, and even then they didn't really mention that David Zaslav couldn't greenlight it. And I'm sure if you wanted to greenlight it and you went to like Paramount, they'd be like, oh yeah, the highest grossing movie in the history of your studio. Yeah, we'll do a sequel. So, but anyway, I don't think the contracts necessarily are the issue. I just think it's, again, you're one man, you can only do so much, right? So I think that's the thing with James Gunn.
I get that.
Probably, I think they need to bring in, like they need somebody else who's gonna take over that kind of development role with screenwriters when James Gunn is off directing a movie, because otherwise it slows things down, especially when it's something as big as Batman. I think James Gunn also keeps saying, whenever he has addressed it, that they're making the Batman 2, so there's gonna be a Batman movie in 2028. So he's like, you know what, like the fans will get at least a Batman movie in 2028, so he feels like there's less pressure on them to deliver.
I get it, but
Batman,
it's just like, you got to build your universe, and it's just like people are getting upset.
Oh, I agree.
And it's,
I agree, 100%. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, hey, I believe him when he says nothing is on hold. It just doesn't mean that everything is moving at a swift pace either. So,
Right.
yeah. Let's talk
But,
about dynamic duo, John.
Yes, because we've barely gotten anything in regards to this, but apparently, dynamic duo, according to the Hollywood Reporter, is reportedly estimated to be $90 million, which is pretty good for like an animated movie, especially with like animated movie doing like all these, like new techniques and all that. I mean, if we're talking about that, I mean, the first Into the Spider-Verse movie, which was also very much like ahead of its time and redefined the animation genre art form. That was also $90 million.
Yeah.
And then in regards to the sequel, of course, the sequel, highly anticipated, it would get a bigger budget with 125.
Right.
So the fact that like 90 million, yeah, that seems about
Yeah.
right. I mean, I think it's a good threshold. It's not too expensive, but it's not like super cheap either, like something like Clayface, which can go
Well, I
that
mean,
way
it's-
because it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
But I think this is good. Like literally, Into the Spider-Verse was the same exact budget. So, and that did a lot with that amount of money. So.
Also, with like the kind of animation and this being like a feature-length film, like Minions and Monsters was produced for around 85 million this year. So I think that's a pretty reasonable budget for a movie like this. It also goes to show you they're not like totally half-assing. Like they're giving it a proper budget. Like it's on the low end still for animated feature-length films. Like it's cheaper than most Pixar movies. It's cheaper than most Walt Disney animation films, or like a Shrek movie. But
it's
I
more
think
experimental.
It's a good number.
It's employing a lot of different techniques. Like it's like CGI animation, puppetry, stop motion, motion capture.
But basically, this part of reporting in the Hollywood Reporter was from a article. I think we kind of missed this part a couple of months ago, because a couple of months ago there was an article that came out in the Hollywood Reporter talking about how the workers at Swaybox Studios are unionizing with IATSE to join the union. I think we did touch upon it. We didn't really dive into the budget part of the movie because it was kind of hidden in like the latter half of the article. But yes, so this isn't necessarily new news, but yeah, 90 million budget for the dynamic duo movie is pretty okay. Now, the other thing that Jalen was referring to in the chat, we do have, because there is a scoop going around. There's a report going around. We don't know if it's true or not. I don't think James Gunn has really addressed this yet, so we'll wait to see what he has to say about it. But this is coming from, I think this is a Brazilian source. I don't know if you're able to hit translate on that, John.
I don't think so.
If you scroll down on the right column, there you go. So yeah, if you want to read that out, because this is somebody who we don't usually get scoops from reporting on this, saying not confirmed by DC either.
We have apparently exclusively received information that Dynamic Duo, DC Studios' animated film focused on Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, will be set in the DCU and will also feature a brief appearance by Batman from that universe, debuting the new version of the Bat in theaters. The film, which will mix CGI, animation, and puppets, will bring a different style. The project could be more important than it seems and even prepare the ground for the brave and the bold, presenting elements of Batman mythology before his solo film. We'll probably see DCU's first Batman appearance in Dynamic Duo. It's worth remembering the information is exclusive and has not yet been officially confirmed by DC Studios. James Gunn already said it's not canon to the DCU, so obviously, things change, but it's
so right now this is he's saying, whoever this person is, they're saying that this is not confirmed by DC Studios, so it's more insider information, which again, take it with a big grain of salt, because it implies that we will get Batman in this movie as his first appearance in anything DC, and maybe set him up for the live action Batman Brave and the Bold. But that would also imply that they would maybe hire the same actor to voice the role, who will then don the actual suit in live action. Now that's a big leap to make. But also, John, James Gunn last addressed this a year ago. If you go to the bottom of this article, there's a quote from James Gunn when he last talked about this.
Yeah.
But he wasn't really sure then, and I don't know if he's very sure about it now in terms of the canon aspect of how this might fit into the DCU.
Right. So, he said all this, and it's going to be a very different way of showcasing these, characters. They're both kind of street rat kind of characters, and Dick becomes, Robin and Jason joins the Red Hood gang. So, kind of like a Fox and the Hound situation is the best way I can compare it to. But yeah, I think this is definitely intriguing. I don't personally think it's canon. I mean, James Gunn already said it's kind of not. So, I don't think that that's the case. So, yeah,
I mean, look, if the plans change, that's one thing. Like,
yeah,
they might have
obviously
been
plans change
redeveloping the
all the
movie.
time, but
So,
this is just
um,
interesting. But the biggest thing is like,
yeah,
oh, it'll cost 90 million, which I think is
yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
I think it's a very reasonable number.
Yep. Anyway, I think we're done here. Now we got to move on to Lanterns. Well,
I
Lanterns
mean, I hear you.
episode
Man, it's time.
2 specifically. So,
John, you gonna give us your review for episode 2?
It's kind of similar with my thoughts on. I'm not going to get into it as much because we're already getting to 3 hours, but it's only because it's like pretty much majority of the same. Too slow, not terribly interesting. Don't really like the characters all that much. I wouldn't say like total character assassination, but they just don't feel like the characters to me. So that's pretty much it. Another 4 out of 10. Like it just feels like, again, it feels like kind of another nothing burger. And on top of the fact that the big cliffhanger is like, oh, we finally get Sinestro, and now we're getting a flashback episode. It's like, you don't do flashback episodes this fucking early. It's supposed to like fill time, and it's like, guys, come on, get out
I
of
mean,
here.
I've seen it in streaming shows. It's not entirely uncommon.
Yeah,
these
Spider
days,
Noir
but
did the
yeah.
same thing with Ben, but that happened much later on in the series. So, and it worked.
But I think
It
it's gonna be their way of introducing Laura Linney's Guardian. So maybe that.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I give it another 4 out of 10. I almost gave it a 4.5 out of 10, but then Zoe Macon's like, "Where's your white man?" And the cringe just brought it back down to a 4 out of 10. So I'm like, yeah.
Again, I feel like the more political they get, or like fearlessly political, the more divisive the show will become. Which
but it's not. It wasn't like inherently bad. It was just cringy writing. It definitely felt reminiscent of like Watchmen, where it was like, I eat white supremacists for breakfast, and I'm like, whoa, who the fuck wrote that garbage ass line? Oh my god. So it just felt really cringy and awkward. But again, it's just like, all right, I'm just still kind of waiting for something to happen, and nothing's really happened yet. So, but
I mean,
we're waiting.
Again, I feel like I disagree with the what has happened part, because I think there's a lot going on here. Like I was talking about 2 hours
It's
yesterday
just like,
about how there's a lot of nuance.
The
in
most
the show.
we get, it's like, okay, we finally saw Sinestro. We finally saw Hal in the suit, which actually looks pretty good. Like I think there's a, the scene,
there is
we have him in the suit, and it actually looks form fitting. It actually looks halfway decent. I'll give that. And I will say for DC Film News, very poor choice of words.
There you
Kyle
go.
Chandler's doing what to Hal Jordan?
But I will say this though, a lot of people asked about this. Manos Time also was asking. It looks like the green looks more green in this shot, but that probably is just a lighting, because I think we have an image from this episode when John is at Hal's apartment holding the suit up, and you can tell there's more green in there.
Yeah,
I mean, there's still obviously a lot of like bronze and all whatnot, but yeah, I think the lighting, again, they're trying to make this feel so grounded. Like the colors there's not a lot of glowing green anywhere, so. But there's green in the suit. It's just not as noticeable. Hal Jordan is alive. John tears her because he realizes he's alive after seeing his ring gone. The dead Hal is the shape-shifting Manhunter. Hal is becoming Parallax. Well, Nelson, those are all good theories. There's also, it's kind of hard to completely confirm any of them, at least as of right now. But I feel like they're building a good mystery. Like I kept saying, like Sheriff Kane's line in this episode, which you've seen in the trailers, I feel like everything is about to blow up for no good reason, is exactly what this show's leading up to. Like this is a slow build mystery that's gonna like blow up into like a great payoff, hopefully. And I feel like episode 2 was less action heavy, but it still had a lot of story development, and certainly like Sheriff Kane apparently knows a lot more and than she was letting on. So like again, kind of seeing like how this is playing out.
I
it is a little
have
slow,
a theory.
but I like how this is
for
going.
episode 3, especially with this
Yeah.
image. Well, it's not my theory, it's a theory of a comment I found on this video on
Yeah.
YouTube, and honestly I kind of agree with it. Stay with me here. This is
Yeah.
John's sort of theory time. It's not my theory, I can't take credit for it, so if I find maybe I'll try to find the comment so I can give proper credit. What do you think I am, Amy Schumer? Come on now, stealing shit that isn't mine and not giving credit. But so the theory is, this theory states is that, and I think this would be kind of sort of interesting, is John Sr. was the original choice for for Abin Sur's ring. And so, but when the ring, when it asks, "Are you afraid?" he either says yes, or he says no, but the ring still feels fear, so they fuck off, and then picks Hal Jordan. And the reason, remember, like in the trailer, he shoots the TV with Hal Jordan. He's like angry and all this other shit. So this theory is saying, it's like John Sr. is fucking jealous that Hal Jordan got the ring over him, so he's like essentially molding John into the perfect Green Lantern,
and that would explain the Guardian connection. Oh, that would be so wild. Yeah, I like.
So they're kind of making like the idea of the ring like genetic, like because your father was almost chosen, you can be chosen, kind of thing.
I guess,
which is again, I don't love the idea of that in general. But in terms of where I think it's going to go, I have a feeling that because of this right here, you see the green light, he's sleeping, and there's little baby John next to him in the crib. So it definitely feels like it's lining
would explain
up with what
so
Hal
much.
said.
It would explain also like why he's like, I know why I was chosen. Like when he's talking to Laura Dern's Guardian, like John Stewart is like, I don't know.
Laura Linney, not Laura Dern.
Sorry, Laura Linney. My bad. I confused my Lauras. But yeah, no, I mean, that would explain so much. I didn't think of that. I haven't watched that look ahead trailer more than once, but that is, I feel like that I'm into that idea. I would love to see if that's a great theory. That is a great
but it definitely
theory.
feeds more into the Frank Leminski thought that I was having when I initially saw the 5 minutes which I don't love. I don't love it, but I'm like, all right, that's a intriguing way of doing things. Again, kind of making John more like the chosen one, which I don't love. But like, all right, I'm again, I don't want to put my foot down just yet. I want to give this a chance. I don't want to hate it. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna be nice. I'll be like, let's just wait. So that's interesting. But I've also heard another theory. I think this one's less plausible, but still interesting to talk about, because again, I love my theories. So, but again, not my own theory, where somebody was, I don't remember exactly what they said, but it kind of falls apart once, you'll know when it falls apart. But essentially what this other person was saying was, oh, the thing that visits the Stewart family is not a Guardian, but in fact the Manhunter. And the Manhunter imbues the DNA into John. Hence why John can like have the bird, like the whole thing with the bird, like being able to be conscious with it.
That makes sense. We saw the
ring.
body transformation thing in the trailer with like the baby John in the mother's arms.
However, it looks like that's Laura Linney, but maybe Laura Linney's lying, and it's not actually a Guardian, but it's actually the Manhunter. And the Manhunter, obviously, as we know in the show, was the original like police force that they were
like robotic. They were kind of like, they're almost, the way it is my understanding is they're like robots, kind of like the Eternals of the DC universe, right? Not exactly, but like, because they're kind of like, they're like synthesoids,
but like I can see where you're coming from.
Because they're not like organic life, because that was the whole point of it, right? And they're able to develop technology. Anyway, that's the idea. Anyway, keep going.
But so essentially that and the thing is it essentially goes back to the idea of like John Stewart Sr. is making a weapon, because like he's making him into the perfect soldier that essentially can steal the Green Lantern force and like become something, even like combination of Manhunter and Green Lantern, steal the Green Lantern, something like that. I can see, like, wild. I definitely see more of the first one where like he was chosen said he was afraid, and then it went off and picked Hal Jordan. There was jealousy. I see more of that than the Manhunter imbuing their DNA into John, because I feel like that's a little bit too off kilter. But
maybe
those
a combination of
those are the two major theories I've seen.
But that could be, I feel like you could maybe combine a couple of those ideas and still end up with what we got in the show. Excuse me, but like, wow, that's actually, I didn't realize, I haven't heard any of those
Yeah,
things.
It's amazing what people can,
Bring it
again, because the thing is, I'm not like super adverse with Green Lantern lore. Like, I'm good, like, again, I didn't realize, the thing is, only because the Manhunter shit in DC is so fucking confusing, because there's because the thing is, originally the Manhunter was like this Quality Comics character that DC bought out, because they bought out Quality Comics, because Plastic Man was a Quality Comics character. So there was that, and then the Manhunters, this version of the Manhunters was made by Jack Kirby when he was writing for DC in the 70s. So then they brought that in. I think they tried to connect them, and it's the whole stuff with Manhunters in the DCU and like the different continuities, the different characters. It's very confusing. So that's why I'm like, I'm not really sure what they're going for. That's why I had my theory. Oh, they're combining. Well, like, no, this is just the Manhunters. This is just the man. They're not combining with the Martians and anything like that. It's just, it comes from confusion, because because the Manhunter stuff is very confusing. So, but yeah, so I think, so those are the two theories I've seen. I'm willing to more so believe the first one, because I think the second one's a little bit too convoluted, but like, Tom King loves his overly convoluted plots, so, he could definitely do that. So yeah, this is the Manhunters, because I think it was like, Rick Shaw or like Paul something, or Kate Spencer is, I know, a Manhunter. She's like the modern Manhunter, that's like connected to the original Quality Comics character. So yeah, it's fucking confusing as hell. A lot of I will say, I do appreciate the Easter egg to Mogo. Mogo doesn't socialize. Appreciate that. I like the pocket dimension thing. I thought that was cool. But also, I will say, like, the fact that two guys managed to jump a Marine, I'm like, all right, come on, dude.
Well, it's more than two guys, and dude, one of them like single-handedly like threw John into the ceiling of the van. I'm like, clearly they're more powerful than the average.
Yeah, I was just like, whoa, all right, come on. But it would have been nice to be like, show off his Marine skills.
No, yeah, I know, but I feel like you put up a good. I think that fight could have been a bit longer, but I'm like, he did at least put up a fight. But there were three of those dudes, and I think at least one of them was taller than John Stewart.
I feel like, I don't know if you got this.
I like this TLDR graphic.
But I feel like
anyway,
I think this was funny.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's something more with Jason Ritter's character? I think what they're kind of going for, I think they could go one of two things.
Because I'm getting hot fuzz vibes for the whole town. I'm getting hot fuzz vibes.
Either it's a red herring, or like he's playing the lovable doof kind of character, but is actually like maybe he's like the secret villain or something.
Like you
and
never
William Macon is just like he's the red herring, and like his son is actually the evil one. Maybe that, I don't know. I just feel like something weird's going on with Jason Ritter's character.
On yesterday's show, we've spent a long time talking about this, and I want to go to I think if I can find the image for was it when Zoe is sitting at the diner with John, which we all thought was a little weird that Zoe happens to be conveniently at these places where John ends up. And then the conversation that they have, I think last night, everybody in the chat, we were talking about how we were thinking Zoe might be the Manhunter that's hiding.
That's interesting. Okay.
So because she says like, I love Will Macon, he loves me. And so I'm like, but she still is able to go around and like, sleep around with other guys. I'm like, that's a very interesting, because like, again, you wouldn't think like the guy like him would appreciate that, because like obviously he's like a manly man, and he's like he wants to be the alpha and all that stuff. Again, playing to the stereotype, but maybe that's a facade to the world, because maybe again, like she's the Manhunter, and he's a human. A human fell in love with the Manhunter, and now Like his army and everything is there. But remember, it was Macon's guys that killed Anton's people at the football stadium because they detected them using the alien detector, which Hal Jordan's like, I haven't seen that tech anywhere, and I've been all across the galaxy. So,
Yeah.
I think like that's why, because if you think about it, this is my theory. Zoe is the Manhunter. It would explain why she's able to do what she does, because in fact she's kind of like, she's the one who's really got the power here, but she's always kind of in the background, and like Will Macon sort of draws the attention. And it's kind of like very weird comparison, but think of it like Thanos and Lady Death, in a way. Like,
I guess so.
You know what I mean? It's like Will make like this guy, because again, you go back to, because there's a lot of reading between the lines so far, because just the 2 episodes and look ahead trailers alone give you a lot of like context for what may or may not be happening. Because basically we know as much based on what Hal Jordan has implied, is that he implied that Abin saw a Green Lantern come, dying and crashing on the backwater shithole Earth planet that the Lanterns would never even touch in their own sector.
Right.
That's more than a coincidence. Now, in this episode, when we get to, I think, the Anton scene, right? Because, by the way, I definitely think Anton is Atrocitus. Because remember when he goes over his backstory? I'm sure you remember listening to his backstory. It sounds like we're gonna get the Red Lanterns eventually, and this guy's Atrocitus. His world got destroyed by the Manhunters. Like he said, they caused a Holocaust, and they're all after vengeance, which is what Valen said before he blew himself up, and all these other guys also have that. I'm kind of glad that they didn't, shove orange goo in his head. Rather, it was just imprinting the memories of what happened on their planet, which orange I think is gonna glue. I thought that Gunn was shoving some glue, I was like, it was some orange jizz in John's head. Apparently, it was just memories. So I'm like, all right, cool. But I'm guessing that's gonna motivate his actions in the next few episodes. But anyway, the point I was trying to get at is Hal Jordan implies Abin saw a Green Lantern dying on Earth after his ship crash can't be a coincidence. And then Anton says that when the Manhunters destroyed most of his world and like caused a Holocaust, the Green Lantern showed up and said, promised, and the Guardians promised that the Green Lanterns were going to put this Manhunter away. I think it was they implied it's the last Manhunter alive, which this Entertainment Weekly article, by the way, gives some great context for, because they talk about how in the comics, there was a comic run where there was this one particular Manhunter who changed the programming of the Manhunters from Krona, a scientist from the planet
Yes,
Malthus.
I do. Yeah.
And that led to like literally Manhunters being like on a spree to destroy all organic life across the universe.
Because they couldn't tell between good and evil.
Good and evil, right. So they're implying here that there's one Manhunter left. And like Anton says, literally the most dangerous being ever to live in the universe has been, he knows, or they know they've been found. I don't know if he said he or she or they. And we're looking for them. And so what I'm guessing is Abin Sur was the Green Lantern who was taking that Manhunter from Anton's planet to go imprison him or execute him or them or whatever. And in the process, the ship crashed, I'm guessing because Manhunter helped it crash or caused it to crash, escaped, and now has been hiding out in Nebraska this whole time. And Anton has obviously figured out, like, this is what happened, and this Manhunter is still alive. Because, again, all the pieces would fit. Like, why are Will Macon's guys... And we have seen the look-ahead trailers. Literally, at one point, Anton comes to town, confronts Will Macon, and Will Macon seems to have the red laser, I think, on his desk, which is alien tech. But it's the same red lasers that they're using to I think the Anton's people are using to destroy, at one point in the trailer, to destroy the same pickup truck that Zoe seems to be driving, that she drops John off in. And then they destroy, I think, either the town hall building or the police precinct at one point in the trailer, which we haven't gotten before. So you add all those pieces up, and I think Zoe is the Manhunter. I mean, it could be Jason Ritter. That would be another...
That's an interesting theory, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I think the pieces would all line up. And then Sinestro, obviously, I think Sinestro is trying to play everything to his advantage, because when he says stuff like, those are the two, because remember, John, at the end of this episode,
I like how like talking about the show is more exciting than actually watching the show.
Well, but I feel like because the show gives you a lot to like, there's a lot of stuff that's not being said out loud that's being hinted at. I think it's great writing when you get so much more out of the show that's like reading between the lines, and it's not even
I
like we're
guess
just
so.
like out there theories. These are things that the show directly references without saying as much out loud. But that being said, I mean,
Yeah,
Sinestro
so that means John fucked a manhunter, if that's the case. How's that manhunter pussy,
potentially,
John?
I mean, potentially. Um, I was also gonna say though, Sinestro, when Hal goes to see Sinestro, you could tell Hal is a little spooked out by what happened to John, almost as if like for the first time they flipped the switch of like John Stewart knows more than Hal Jordan, which hasn't happened yet, and so he goes to talk to. Because I'm thinking the history. Because if you've seen the previous look at trailer, because they mention it here, like I think was it Anton talks about Sinestro, that he mutinied, killed a Guardian, and almost took down the whole system, and then Hal captured him, put him in prison, and it's like you see that scene in the previous look ahead trailer where like Sinestro is almost screaming out to Hal, is like, I thought you believed in what I was doing, kind of a way, and Hal, you see like a younger Hal in that aviator jacket that we see from the backup from the Ring version. It feels like that's where maybe Hal lost his trust in the Guardians, which is why he's really like sort of not in favor with the Guardians anymore, doesn't back up his stuff, doesn't wear the uniform very often. There's a lot of things. So like Sinestro obviously is like playing, because Sinestro is kind of like the Joker here, like in the Batman prison scene, that like a deleted scene where he's just like, yeah, I mean, hey, John's your replacement, right? That and the Manhunter are your two biggest threats. So I'm like, again, I'm kind of like ranting at this point, but I feel like all these pieces line up, and I'm like, I hope I haven't figured it all out already, but that still doesn't answer the question of why is Hal dead in 2016 or 2026. Still doesn't tell us what's been happening, like what ultimately ended up happening. Where did the ring go? Is the same ring that Hal has? The ring that's not the same one that Guy ended up with, or is a different ring? But yeah, I mean, that was the theory we were talking about yesterday on the show. I think it would make sense. I could see like them writing it this way. So like Zoe is like the one with all the power, and she's just been like hiding in plain sight. Because we were also talking about like why she end up exactly where like why was she at the bar, conveniently enough, and like one time it's a convenience, but like
Or
now
maybe it's just lazy fucking writing. You don't know.
I mean, it could be. I mean, hey, maybe that's more likely to be the case. But I'm like, why the hell was she at this diner in the middle of the night, like randomly when John shows up to like get a coffee after he's like driven all the way back from Coast or flown all the way back from Coast City, and then it's like it's interesting. Yeah. Please hit the like button. We appreciate the support. But yeah, I mean, talk about Sinestro, John. This is the first time we have now officially gotten Sinestro on screen in like 15 years.
Yeah, and
I like the look of the
worse.
character. It's an older version of the character, obviously.
I get it, but like he can look older and not like a dude with a bad sunburn. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I feel like they're going with like it still needs to look like skin. It doesn't need to look like. I mean, I get Marvel does it with like the really green, blue, and red, and I think James Gunn does it a little bit too with his movies. But
like, bro, come on. Mark Strong looks so much better than this.
Yeah, but I think it was a different. I think it's more of a color palette thing. Like, small detail, I'm willing to live with what they got here. I mean, sure, could they make him look different? Yeah, but like, is it gonna kill me? No. But I think Damon Lindelof or Chris Mundy were talking about maybe they have plans for Sinestro beyond maybe this season, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, but it's weird how they're making him so much older. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like, at least with like,
I mean,
Hal's
Thompson's 62.
Killed off, but...
It would make sense though, because if he is Hal Jordan's mentor, then there'd be an age gap. Well, let's talk about what did Chris Mundy say about Sinestro? Because I mean, we might be getting more Sinestro, and I don't mind that he's older personally. Like, he could still stick around and be in the show.
Yeah, that's true.
For multiple seasons.
But anyway, with we have Carrie was telling Hal.
Oh, we'll get to that part later. I would say skip this for now. Like, what did Chris Mundy say? Because I think that's more relevant. To the
where is that? Is that here or is that?
It's right there. The paragraph above.
Okay, so Sinestro can talk to Hal in a way. He's not talking just as a bad guy of the lore, of course, or the canon. He's talking as, hey, look, I trained you. We are close. I think there's part of Hal that's gonna listen, because even though he's manipulative, even though he's the big bad of canon, a lot of what he knows comes from Sinestro. if we're gonna get into John and Hal's relationship, then we ought to at least touch on Hal's relationship with Sinestro and the fear of the Guardians have about the relationship that we start to get into a little bit. As we move down the road in the series, we'd held off on a lot of more of the comic book stuff. It felt like a good time to remind people that we understand the show we're making. Do you? So Vanessa Baden Kelly added that Sinestro was conceived as somebody who is slippery, whether he believes that John is the bigger threat or not. He knows that that's gonna keep Hal talking. He can learn a little bit more information and kind of start trying to gather some ways to maybe get some help from Hal. Sinestro, choosing his words carefully, is also saying this guy is somebody you should watch out for in the series. So
yeah, I mean, and Vanessa has so far written episode 2. She's writing the next episode 3. This was a co-writing job with Chris Mundy for episode 2, so she's gonna have gonna have more of her blueprint on the next episode, which is interesting. But yeah, I mean, they kind of almost hint like Sinestro is gonna be around a little bit longer. Like it's not just gonna be a one and done season thing, which I hope so. People are theorizing that maybe he'll escape and then the Yellow Lanterns will get more indirectly involved. I think it'd go a number of different ways with this, honestly. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But between the Manhunter, backstory, Sinestro, I have to say there's a lot of Green Lantern lore that they're hinting at or have introduced, but in a way that doesn't feel like there's a lot of comic booky stuff in the show so far, which you can look at it as a positive or a negative, but like it certainly makes you want to do some research as if you are a casual viewer, that you want to learn more about it, which I think is a good way to get more fans on board because of the weekly release schedule. But the biggest thing I feel like that came out of yesterday's episode, John, it had nothing to do with the Green Lanterns. It had everything to do with Gotham City. Yeah. You have that article, because we got to talk about the character that Kelly MacDonald's playing.
Yeah.
So this was cool.
This is what she was saying. I wasn't a comic book girl growing up, so I wasn't au fait with all of that, but Gotham is an iconic place. I had discussions before we started shooting with James Hawes, the first black director. I thought he said black director. I was like, what?
I read it. I misread it the other day too. Yeah,
when we were talking about the fact that she was from Gotham and accent wise, where to place her, he said he wanted Carrie to be a bit more enigmatic. We imagine Gotham as an East Coast North American metropolis, but she's been in Nebraska for a while, so just a little bit more enigmatic. But it was very different when I was watching The Penguin, not to just want to emulate the voices I was hearing. Yeah, just like gotta mix the flavors. You gotta be talking like this.
I think I missed this part in the show because they're walking through the hallway in the hospital, because I was doing the watch along and I think I was talking over some moments and I think I was distracted, but I missed a little bit. But then
I didn't realize her last name was Kane. That's probably, or I missed that because
I missed that part. Yeah. Because I mean, dude, Martha Kane, Kate Kane is Batwoman. It's like, remember in the previous episode, like she says, tell Barb I said hi. So people are wondering who she was talking to in that phone call.
When did she say that? I don't remember.
Go to the next link that you have. Go to I think DC Film News kind of sums it up. They kind of have it. Not this one. The Twitter one. Nope, the one after this. This is the original article that Kelly MacDonald's interview quotes are from.
Okay.
So this is DC Film News theory time. I mean, she's originally from Gotham. She said that she moved there on a whim. Okay. She clearly has already not been letting on as much as she knows, which makes you wonder, maybe she didn't move there on a whim. But she said, tell Barb I said hi when Jon Stewart walks into the police station, the precinct in the last episode to get Hal out of prison. And
so the reason she was being a bitch for no fucking reason is because I was dealing with Batman, so
I mean, the jurisdiction thing is interesting because
which is Batman... someone brought this up, and that's actually a really good point about the first episode. It's like, motherfucker, this entire planet is Hal Jordan's jurisdiction. You mean the man who's been a fucking Green Lantern for fucking 30 years has no jurisdiction? His whole sector is his fucking jurisdiction. He can fucking question a suspect for fucking 20 minutes. Really? And she has to be a fucking, I gotta hold my fucking own here. It's like, just let the guy question him. No, they have to do this whole rigmarole. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah. But dude, who do you think? Okay, so let's kind of break this down. Who do you think she was talking to on the phone? Tell Barb I say hi.
It could
that's
be
got to be a
Barbara
Barbara Gordon.
But
no, you don't say, if you're talking to Barbara Gordon, you don't say tell Barb I said hi. Hey. So who was she talking to who would know or be working with Barbara Gordon?
Renee Montoya could definitely be one of
Okay.
them. Like some random like police officer. I don't think it's like Commissioner Gordon or anything like that. Sorry, I thought you meant like talking about. I'm like, oh, it's
No, like
it's Barbara
who's she talking to on the phone? Yeah.
But in terms of who she's talking to specifically, probably like a random police officer because she's like part of the police. So I can
Or she could be
imagine that
talking.
like
Maybe if there's a family connection, could she be talking to Bruce Wayne or Alfred?
she could be
maybe?
talking to Bruce Wayne. She could be talking to Kate Kane. She could
Maybe
be
even
talking to
Alfred?
Dick Grayson because Dick Grayson, I think,
You know?
he has been a police officer in Bloodhaven a couple times. I know that he was that in the Titan
Right.
show, and he has been that in like a couple times in the comics. So it could definitely be Dick Grayson because even though she was not a Bloodhaven police officer, you know, there's a connection there. So there could be a number of different people, you know.
Well, pardon the pun, but maybe we can kill two birds with one stone here. Sorry, John Stewart. But like World Weeb is suggesting, like who the theory. There's a lot of theories out there, like who is the mysterious benefactor of the Will Macon ranch and everything that he keeps saying is under NDA and all that. Yesterday, I thought it was just there is no benefactor. That it is Zoe who's the manhunter. So they just gotta pretend. They just say there's a benefactor that is NDA'd them to hell, so they can't say anything about it. But like, if there is a benefactor, then maybe it's going to be some other big bad, or maybe it's like a rival business tycoon to Bruce Wayne and Bruce Wayne maybe sent Sheriff Carrie Kane to like move into this town. Maybe her marrying the Billy Macon, the Billy Macon's son and having a kid with him like is all part of like a long. I don't know. I'm just like now really, conspiracy theory gazing here. I feel like because. I don't know. Like there's so many ways they can do so many directions they can go with this. Like maybe this is like a long game thing that's going on, especially because remember James Gunn mentioned a while ago, Lanterns will give us a better idea what the big picture of Gods and Monsters, this chapter 1 of the DCU is going to be. So I mean, I feel like the writing for this show is starting to sound like Nelson is saying pretty underrated considering how much we are able to get out of seemingly very little because they don't say a lot, but they seem to hint at a whole hell of a lot. So, I mean, yeah, a lot of people were saying maybe Lex Luthor owns the ranch. It would certainly line up with the philosophy of like anti-alien. We're not gonna be the colonized people. We're gonna beat the colonizers that he keeps bringing up. So, yeah, she could be. I want to say that she's talking to Alfred in that phone call. It says, "Tell Barb I said hey." Because maybe Batgirl is around and kicking in Gotham City. Oh, Maxwell, dude! If Maxwell Lord was the benefactor, that would be the ultimate like heel turn. Because I mean, he's supposed to be a good guy, right? Or at least publicly a good guy. Anyway, John, I think we can theorize about this all day and all night long. There's so much to get into. Let's talk about what a couple of comic book writers think about the show so far.
So, not a great sign. But
mixed opinions,
Dan Slott, the guy who's one of the worst Spider-Man runs of all time. 2 episodes in, he says DC's Lanterns is 2 for 2 for me so far, so good. Okay. Dan Slott likes something bad. Crazy. However, the more interesting bit, I will say, is apparently Vindication, the man who actually knows how to write Green Lantern, says it's not good. Vindication. Thank you, Captain Holt. But Grant Morrison reviews Lanterns, criticizes unrecognizable Hal Jordan, glaring lack of costumes and constructs. Talking to his Xanadum Substack, Morrison shared his review of Lantern's premiere and appears largely unimpressed, admitting he felt obliged to watch after criticizing the glib dismissal of the color green by writer and producer Damon Lindelof. The writer said he liked Aaron Pierre's quiet and uptight performance as Jon Stewart. I thought Kyle Chandler anchored the show with a great turn as Dr. McCoy, but he wasn't any Hal Jordan I recognized. Willpower and booze don't mix for a start. Despite that, Morrison intends to stick with it for the engaging Chandler. Otherwise, on this outing, way too much to tell, not enough show, and those comparisons to True Detective invoking season 1 of that show only worked against Lanterns. The lack of costumes and ring effects was glaring, but easily explained by budgetary constraints and a desire to create some distance between this and the unsuccessful Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern film. It only begs the question of why try to make a Green Lantern show on a budget at all. DC has a ton of ground-level heroes or characters with a low-level gimmick powers to choose from, so why make this lo-fi route with a franchise that should be competing with Star Trek and Star Wars? Mainstream reviews of the show are pretty positives. Way to say it, Grant Morrison. By the way, I highly recommend his The Green Lantern miniseries, The Green Lantern and The Green Lantern Season 2. Very, like, obviously, if you're not a big Grant Morrison fan, don't read them, but it definitely brings in a lot of the cosmic eldritch entities and a lot of, like, lore building. There's a lot going on. Like, when I was reading them, I was like, whoa, this is it was like an onslaught of, like, tons of stuff. But I think I highly recommend his stuff, because it was like, honestly, I kind of want to reread them, because Grant Morrison is a very, like, insane writer. Like, either it's kind of like a you love him or you hate him type of thing. Sorry, you love them or you hate them. Sorry, they're technically non-binary. So I think I if you want, obviously, if you're, like, just starting out on Green Lantern comics, don't read them. But, like, if you're knee deep in lore, I would say give them a read, because they're fucking weird as hell, but they're really, really good. So I definitely recommend them. And even for me, who knows a bit of Green Lantern stuff, it was a lot even for me at times. Half the time I'm like, what? I had to, like, reread a page like 4 times, because I'm like, what the fuck am I reading? But in, like, a good way. So so I think yeah, no, Grant's still right. They still write. I think he goes interspersed. But yes, Grant Morrison still writes. Maybe not as much, but they still write. I don't know if they're writing anything currently, but they still write. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I also think, like, he has a very particular perspective. So again, it's like that thing of, if you're really expecting a cosmic galactic exploration, like, if you're expecting more of a Guardians of the Galaxy-esque kind of a thing, then this is obviously not that so far. But to that end, Nelson was asking you a question, John. Does episode 2 give you more hope for the show, especially with the potential plot theories we've been able to get only off of the 2 episodes?
Technically it was a little bit, like, it does things better than the first episode, but also does a couple things worse, hence why I couldn't really give it, like, a higher rating.
I gave it a 9.5 out
or
of 10,
a lower
so
rating. For
like, on
me,
the other
it
end of
just,
the
like, I gave both episodes, like, a 4. It's just,
Yeah.
like, the pacing is fucking killing me. Like, again, I like slow burn
I agree,
stuff.
Worldweed.
I like slow burn mystery building shows. Like, Dark is a fucking amazing example. That is a slow
I think
burn
that
mystery show. Like,
was good until
grounded
season 3.
sci-fi element
Yeah.
done very well. Like, that show was, like, great at doing that.
I had problems with the
even
third
other shows, like,
season of that.
like, it does
Yeah.
that slow burn.
Mhm.
I like slow burn mystery shows. Like, Reacher is another one that's more action schlock, but, like, it does have, like,
It does
slow
work.
burn mysteries as part of it.
It's kind of formulaic, but it works.
Yeah, but, like, I do like a slow burn mystery. It's just, like, this, I kind of, like, don't really care about anything going on, and the characters don't feel like the characters for me. But, obviously I'm gonna keep going, like, not just for the show, like, but I'm intrigued. Like, I don't know if, like, if it will get better. So I'm gonna stick with it. I am gonna stick with it,
Yeah.
because, like, if Tom King and Damon Lindelof and Chris Money could pull this out of their ass and actually make something in hindsight a good show, then maybe, like, I'll give them their flowers. Like,
well, yeah,
we'll see. But
that's the thing. I mean, you have mentioned it before, like, with a mystery box show like this, it all comes down to, like, what we were saying, how they unwind the mysteries, because we're
I feel
talking
like
about a
but I
million
feel like
different
also
theories.
the show is, like, it's purely based on hooks.
But
it's just, like, I feel like
Well, but,
it
like,
keeps,
we're
like, it's
2
I
episodes
feel like
in,
it's, like,
you know
a
what I mean?
boring
Like,
show,
it's-
but, like, has a hook. Like, oh my god, what happened to Hal Jordan after he got shot? Oh, well, you got to wait a bit because we're going back to Jon Stewart, and, like, and then it's like, oh,
they're setting the
who's this thing,
groundwork,
and
you
then
know?
you got to have that hook. So it's just, like, it's just a bland slog with an occasional hook that like maybe
But
makes you
okay,
intrigued
so
to keep watching.
as somebody who watches a lot of mystery thriller shows and movies, like that's something that I really lean into, and that's like my jam. So I'm really enjoying this because I feel like a lot of what they're doing here is not at all out of the ordinary for a show like this. True Detective is one example, but I've seen many of things like this. Like, do you enjoy stuff like that? Because maybe it's like something where
Well,
you're not really a fan of this kind of a
Damon
show.
Lindelof wrote that he created that show.
Yeah, Watchmen.
The Watchmen miniseries, and then
Yeah. But like, John, do you do a lot of mystery box, mystery thriller things that like? Do you feel like this
I
is
don't.
just not
I
doing
don't
it
maybe
right,
do like
or-
a ton, but I do. In fact, I've watched a bunch of them. It just like I've seen really good ones,
A
and
weenie.
this one just doesn't feel good at the start. So, but it's maybe it'll turn around in the second
I
half.
mean,
I
we got
don't
8
know.
episodes. We're a quarter
but
of the way through the season.
We'll see
so,
how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, usually when you have an 8 episode order, 3 episodes in, you gotta like, I think you gotta rehook the audience, do some revelation, and then like build on another mystery. So hopefully, I mean, again, the title of episode 3 is more interesting than any of the episodes so far. Outcast with a K. Like, I wonder what that implies. Yeah, 9 out of 10 for MTG.
It's about the band
8.5
Outcast.
out of 10 for Chuck Rod.
That's why.
I hope that's not it, but I did want to go through a few photos from the show, John, because remember when when John went to Hal's house, there was a bunch of photos in the frames. It's almost like I was talking about this yesterday. I'm like, clearly, like they're giving us a lot of information without really shoving it in our face. The idea that between the phone conversation they have, the 2 lanterns, and how the house is, like literally there's just one bedroom with this bed sheets strewn all over and no other furniture, and just like with the safe for in the pocket dimension where the battery is for the lantern. You could tell that Hal Jordan kind of is almost ashamed of himself, or is having a bit of an identity crisis. Like he hasn't lived there in 8 years, he says. He said maybe he came from privilege from his dad's side of the family or whatever. But you could tell like there's all these photos of him like being at the premiere of the Harry Potter movies, which I'm sure great Photoshop work. There's a photo of his old Lantern's costume, which does make it feel like the Green Lantern symbol glows. It looks like the same costume, but with a glowing symbol. And he has the domino mask on, which he doesn't wear anymore. So, I mean, yeah, Nelson gave it an 8.5 out of 10. There's a lot of like little Easter eggs like this. Like it's almost like there's a past life.
Right before John Sr. shoots the fucking shoots the TV, we see him with the domino mask, and oh, my camera got frigged up. Hang on a sec. See, you're not the only one, Dan. Hold on, I'll be right back. But yeah, I did see that for like a hot sec, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, like there's just a lot of Easter eggs of like the past life of Hal Jordan. He's not really proud of it at this point, or he's just like, I was naive back then. I didn't realize like the Guardians were maybe not all that. Like, yeah, no worries. I mean, so it really does imply that like Hal Jordan has been having some kind of identity crisis for a while.
I've said this so many times, and I will keep saying it. I'm happy that other people like it. They can find joy in something I cannot. I'm glad that, at least in the eyes of some people, DC is doing well. DC's doing numbers. The numbers are even behind this. So it's not just like, oh, hey, we like it. Meanwhile, it got like 1 million fucking views. It actually has like a decent, amount of people watching. Very positive reviews. I'm not a fan of it right now, but again, things can turn around. And again, even though I will never give Tom credit for as long as I live, I will say, like, if they deliver something that I like by the end of the season, I will say so. I'm not going to just be like, fuck this show. I've been saying, like, I like the little Easter eggs like this. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the physical suit, but, like, it doesn't look half bad because it's definitely I have it on my shelf. More of the Earth 1 suit, which more of, like, a physical, like, astronaut kind of suit, which is, like, I get that. I just wish it was something I could latch on to a little bit more, because I think Jon Stewart is like good for an early Jon Stewart. I just don't like what they're doing with Hal. And I'm curious about things. Like, I want the show to be good because I want to like the show for what it is, but nothing is like latching on to me. Like, I guess I'm at the very least I'm curious with how this will go, which is more, I guess that's why I'm not giving it like a 1 out of 10, because if this show was like that bad, I wouldn't be watching. Like, if it was like truly like the worst fucking thing ever, I would, at a point I'd be like, okay, I can't watch this anymore. But at least, like, the reason I'm not giving it the lowest score is like, I'm curious. I like some aspects of it, but I find some things like interesting, but it's just I don't love what they're doing here. But again, we'll keep going. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah. I mean, Filmology, I was wondering if you like it more than Peacemaker. Not sure if you already mentioned
No,
that.
I like the Peacemaker more.
Okay. But again,
It's
you know,
like-
kind of a unfair comparison. One show is already
It's
done.
just like it's apples to oranges, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
so, just because one season 2 is actually completed, so we can like, compare that.
Yeah.
But like there's only 2 episodes in, but if like this is probably my least favorite DC thing going on, but again, that's an unfair comparison because nothing's happened yet. But if I were to do a ranking, like it would be probably Superman, then Creature Commandos, then Peacemaker season 2, then Supergirl, then Lanterns. But that's a bit unfair because Lanterns hasn't completed yet. So
I will say this particular character poster for Sinestro looks like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I was gonna say this makes him look even more sunburned.
I kind of like the look here better than what we got on the poster. Where like, is this more red than here? And I'm like, here it looks real, and I'm like, there it looks like Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like he's got a big ass sunburn. But anyway, yeah, Earl, Lantern Bird, or Eagly? That's a good question. Earl. You know, Earl was a lot of fun. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't expecting it.
I'm sorry, just like
but-
once you witness an eagle hugging a man, like you don't get better than that. I'm sorry. Like,
oh my God, Dad, he's hugging me. Take a photo. Like it's just still first season of that show is wild.
I love Eagly so much. Eagly was like the best part of that
God.
show.
You know, bird blindness is a real
real.
problem, John. It's real.
Ah, a hummingbird or whatever. I don't know what he said, but like when he gets
People
attacked by
suffer
eagle-
from it
Ah!
every day. Anyway, what are your expectations for the next episode? I know we kind of talked about it a little bit. It looks like it's more of a flashback episode. Do you think it's going to be entirely set in the past, like going back to 1996?
Yeah, I think
or
it'll be like,
earlier. This
'cause
looks like
I
1986.
get what they were doing because Sinestro's like, tell me about Jon Stewart, and then we're literally getting the
Right.
Jon Stewart episode. I get it, but like, I feel like it would be better personally, but this is just how I would do it, is after the midpoint hook is when I think you should do a flashback episode. Because it's just like, oh, we get Sinestro, we've only gotten 2 episodes, and they're immediately going into a flashback. I don't know, it just feels awkward pacing to me, but let's see how the episode actually is. But for me, is like the because like the midpoint, that's the big turning point of like everything of like a show, a movie, is when you hit the middle. That's when everything fucking changes. When you literally taught that in my screenwriting course in college, is like the midpoint is where everything changes. That's the big thing. And I feel like they should have done this after that. However, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have to follow. I mean, the rules are also meant to be broken, and you don't have to follow it word for word all the time. I just really like the theory that you just gave me, that
Which one?
maybe it was
John Senior.
No,
or
the John
Manhunter one?
Senior. No, the John Senior could be the Lantern. Also, the Manhunter. I mean, I feel like it would be a combination of both. Like, I think both of those things could be true at the same time. But that would be wild to like consider it, because that would explain a lot of like his attitude, like his John Senior's attitude towards the whole Lantern situation. Do you want to have this job, son? Like,
Because now it
reconstructs
recontextualizes
yeah,
the opening, like, of the episode where it's like, what's his name?
because there was something off about that, right? Like that whole
Like,
opening. Was
what's
like,
his
there's something
name?
off
Like,
about this. Yeah,
Hal
exactly.
something. Okay. Like, he like kind of knew him, but like kind of not, just like, oh,
Yeah.
he exists.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah, dude. Oh my God, I can't. I hope that they give us some kind of like flashback to something. Like, there's probably a lot that just goes to show you there's a lot of mysteries that we haven't yet quite resolved about this show. Which, again, I give it credit to the writing of the show that there's so much that we've been able to glean from just 2 episodes and a bunch of look ahead trailers. But yeah, we'll be here 9 p.m. every Sunday, watching it live, reacting to it after. Reviewing
Yeah.
it,
Sorry
and
if I
talking
did the
about it on
wrong.
Monday.
I think I did the wrong graphic, because this one's for the watch along rather than.
No, it's
this
all good.
one,
I
but-
think we could use either one. It's fine, because we were talking about episode 2 in particular. You know what? It would also explain the episode title. Episode 3 is called Outcast. Episode 4 is called The Weenie. So maybe they'll keep going with the flashbacks for. I don't know. I don't know who the weenie is implying. I don't know what the weenie label is for. Who it is for.
Yeah,
but
it could be a full on fucking like, but
No,
like
don't
just
go
how
there.
fucking John and just like
Don't
that's the
go
whole
there.
episode. It just goes full
Hell
porn
no.
parody, and that's the weenie, baby.
There's the wood rocket there somewhere. Anyway, we're gonna move on to talking about the Batman Part 2 before the sun comes up. We got a lot to get into, John, because like this is that time of the year where we're getting set photos, we're getting videos. Let's set the stage.
Has officially become Gotham City. Well, it was in New York like a year ago when they were filming Spider-Man, but
yeah, seems to be the perfect spot. I mean, we set the stage because they clearly have like an entire 2 blocks worth of streets. Like you can see like how much space they've taken up here. It's like 2 blocks across street, and they got a lot of Crown Wicks being Gotham police. Again, I like that they're going for that, like rather than like the new cop cars that we have today. Kind of gives it a sort of a vintage vibe. It's obviously kind of in line with what we got in the first movie.
Well, that's something I always liked about the animated series, is that you can never tell what time period it takes place
in. Out of time, yeah.
Like it was like, oh, you have like all these old cars, then you have like this futuristic modern technology, but the clothing felt very like 50s to 60s.
Yeah.
But the way people talked was very modern. So the animated show is like, it was timeless, and that's what worked about it.
Right.
Here is like you have those old like Crown Cruisers, I think is what they're called.
Crown Victorias.
Crown Wicks. So and then you have that car in the background, which is very much like that, you know, kind of mid 2000s.
That looks like an old
vehicle.
Chrysler. That looks like an old Chrysler from. They don't really make them anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they do.
And then we got this.
Dude, the SWAT van.
Slamming into a rig.
Gives me Dark Knight flashbacks, honestly, like, you know, with the Harvey Dent inside it.
Harvey Dent.
Can you trust him? Harvey Dent. Can we trust him for one last time? Anyway, so we're not doing that. Harvey Dent. Can we trust him? So anyway, this part I don't think we've talked about, John. If you can zoom into this, because we want to watch this up close. Like, look at this video, because apparently they're shooting multiple things there. I can't tell if this is all part of the same sequence or these are multiple sequences.
I like this guy with the fucking blanket.
But
and they got you guys can't hear it, but they got the Dark Knight theme in the background.
Yeah, we don't want to get demonetized. But John, is there a way to zoom into the video? Because like it's all like in a vertical format, shot horizontally, whatever. But anyway, the point is, you could see there they've got the Batmobile and it's rigged up for all the cameras. And as it runs, John, let's go back to that video. As it runs across that street, you could see that the camera is pointed to see whatever is behind the Batmobile. And while there's a follow car, you could see like a SWAT vehicle, which that SWAT car moves not like a car that big. But you know what? It's a movie, and damn, that car corners way too well for a SWAT truck. But it looks like the Batman is getting chased by a SWAT car of all cars. So yeah, clearly outrunning them. But I guess eventually he gets cornered again, giving me the Dark Knight Rises vibes, because I mean, remember they were testing these like donuts, and they're clearly shooting some chase scene stuff. So there you go. It looks like you got some. This is probably a rehearsal here as well, where you could see the sparks going off, like bullet sparks. So, but there's nobody there shooting at him. I think this was either they're filming probably the interior of the car. You can see the way the cameras are set up. So they do all of this multiple times. So this is probably shooting the interior of the car with the cameras. If you can zoom, I don't know if you can zoom into this video, but
no, I can't.
I think the intention here is that you get the bullet sparks and stuff, so you get it in the interior. So maybe Robert Pattinson's in the car here, or the stuntman is in the car. Maybe Ricky Stunts probably Ricky Stunts, and whoever else is riding shotgun. And then later on, John, we have videos of the Batmobile actually, you know, getting shot at by the cops. So that looked like a rehearsal, or they were just shooting the interior. But then we have video of, and you know, somebody who got this video clearly threw a LUT on it, and made it feel like it's the movie, but obviously it's not. But yeah, they've got the not live rounds, but clearly this. But by the way, the doing the donuts while getting shot at and driving away from the cops. This reminds me of one because they're Crown Vics. It reminds me of The Dark Knight Rises, and also doing the donuts before running away reminds me of No Time to Die, because you remember James Bond and
Yeah.
like how like I'm like I don't think Batman's shooting out of his car here, but and then that camera rig makes sense now. That's why that rig is back there to get that angle from the Batmobile. So that's definitely for the camera. And you could, I mean, yeah, they're clearly shooting at this thing here. So yeah, we got more looks at this, I think, right? So there's
we do.
Everybody was putting this up because obviously they couldn't block this off completely, so anybody and everybody who could get their hands on this, and you got like a dozen different police cars and cops on bikes that have cornered him off. But I wonder how he got away from everybody, because like you see all this video and I'm like, there's no obvious, like they're literally shooting at him point blank with machine guns. The SWAT unit is, you can see the truck there. But like, how does he get out of this? Oh, you think so? Okay, so we have a video of him getting away from the cops, right?
I think so. I think this is just the God. If you have epilepsy, I'm so goddamn sorry. Like, Jesus Christ.
You can't fake this stuff, you know? Like, I like the scale of the stunt stuff and how they're shooting it, though. This, again, reminds me of how they did it back in the day with Nolan. Like, it's like how Nolan did. I mean, the guy likes to do it practically. And because here you see the Batmobile somehow, like, escaping, and they're still getting shot at. So you got all these, you know, rigged sparks going off with bullet hits in the back of the car as it drives away. So how does he drive away out of all that? With the SWAT unit shooting at him and all the cop cars, nobody knows. But I mean, it's all exciting stuff. The fact that it's shooting actually at night and the scale of it again, I like it. Like they're doing it, and they've got that light on a rig that's meant to be like the choppers. So clearly the police chopper is still following the car. John, you have to tell, like, you gotta agree, right? This feels like stuff we have seen in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah,
like,
for better or
it's
for
very
worse.
reminiscent, you know, for better or for worse. But
it just,
I mean,
I just wish like Matt Reeves
it looks
was
better in the movie,
doing his own thing rather than just copying the greatness that came before. But
it is an interesting question to ask, like, why is the entire police department, like, why is the entire GCPD, including the SWAT team, after this guy? Like, he worked with the police in the first movie. They were like the best of friends. Like,
well, I mean,
what the hell
wasn't there that scene where he was like running away from them, and like, you know, that's why he had to do the fucking flying squirrel?
Oh, right, that's true. But also then, like, Detective. But remember, they also shot that scene when the Drifter is following the ambulance, and we thought maybe Detective Gordon was inside. He's the one who got injured. Yeah. So maybe they think Batman did whatever he did to Detective Gordon, and now the entire SWAT team is after Batman to catch him. That's just a theory that's what happens if you want to connect those two pieces together.
Yeah.
But we I think, John, if you have the comicbookmovie.com article, I think we went through all the videos. They have a video on their page which gives us a better look at whoever was riding shotgun with Batman in the car. This blonde woman-looking character, which again feels like it could be, you know, Scarlett Johansson's stunt double, maybe playing, I don't know, Poison Ivy.
You know who I think it is?
Well,
I think it's Lady Gaga Harley Quinn. She's back and she's ready.
Go full screen on this, because something different here is that there's the SWAT person here that the police is trying to clearly either arrest both Batman or whoever else is in the car with him. This is the part that we didn't really see before when they were just doing rehearsals, that when they get surrounded, the cops are right there, and so whoever's in the car, like, you don't shoot it that way unless the camera is pointing in the direction of where the cop is, or like the SWAT person is standing. So it's kind of interesting how
this is the one that we saw before.
Yeah, where he finally gets away. I mean, how he gets away from the melee is another thing, but they are shooting a lot of blank rounds at him. Like, it's intense. I mean, the Batmobile seems like it can get away with it. I mean, remember, he got shot from machine guns at point blank range in the last movie. So also they've got another motorbike there with other cameras on him. You see that camera bike pulls up. So with stuff like this, I remember I shot a scene for a short film where we blocked off a road, and we had like the most amount of cameras on set that day. We had like 6 cameras, so we can get literally as many angles as possible, because closing down streets and getting all these like prop cars and everything for stunts all there is like very expensive. So you want to like try to shoot. It's usually a big multicam shoot, so it looks like they mounted a camera on almost anything and everything they possibly could to get as many angles as they could. We have more photos here. One thing about this photo, John, you see at the very top of the car, it almost looks like wings, except I think those are maybe like light diffusers, because you can see that might be softening the light through the what do they call the skylight in the Batmobile, so that they've got camera shooting into the car, so that way you get soft light for the backlighting the character. So again, you can see a little bit more behind the scenes stuff. This, by the way, looked pretty cool. I like this shot. You see like almost, because here you can kind of imagine that's a chopper. It's like just it's in the dark, even though that's not really an actual helicopter. But and these shots are just more high resolution images of what we've already been seeing. You can see there's multiple cameras rigged up there for the back of the Batmobile. You could clearly, I think that pretty much looks like it's Ricky Stunts in there. I think Caleb went to bed, but he would appreciate this. It's also very throwback. Like the Crown Wicks look very throwbacky. Like it's kind of weird because I go back and watch The Dark Knight sometimes now, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah. The police in the US still drove Crown Wicks back then. It's that long ago. I mean, Caleb is 18 years old. That means he was born in 2008. It's like, God, it makes me feel old sometimes. But John, this is the best shot from the set of the Batman Part 2 to date. I feel like whoever shot this, like this is great.
Oh yeah,
I love this shot. Like even if you don't Photoshop the,
it's all coming together.
This is my favorite shot from the set. I don't know. What your thoughts overall on the Batman Part 2? What they're filming out in Glasgow? I feel like it looks pretty on point.
Yeah, I think it all looks pretty damn good.
Not a lot of bulge alerts right now because we're mostly getting a lot of the stunt sequences and stuff. But what's interesting to think about though is like, why are they after Batman, and did it have anything to do with the fact that we last saw Detective Gordon inside an ambulance, Jeffrey Wong? Maybe Jeffrey Wong is in trouble and the police blames Batman for it. So can't wait to see what that turns into. But anyway, I think we'll leave that there for now. The Batman Part 2 continues to film in Glasgow. Man of Tomorrow, hopefully we'll get some... Dude, I don't know when the hell they're going to go to Ohio, but I'm like, hopefully we'll get some photos from if they do any outdoor stuff for the Man of Tomorrow film, because like that would be fun. Because we would get a better view at the suit, because so far we've only seen the suit at night, and see if there's any real differences beyond the barely noticeable stuff. Like maybe people were saying the crest of Superman's suit is bigger. It doesn't feel like it is. Maybe get a better idea of his haircut. Like, is he really rocking the long hair, David Cornsweet? So... yeah, but hey, you know what, guys? Thank you for tuning in. Man of Tomorrow does it wrap filming this week? I don't think it does. I mean, they were on day 85 like a week or so ago. I'd imagine there's probably still a little bit of work left. I didn't hear that it was wrapping anytime soon. Let us know where you heard that from, because I don't remember if this said it was going to wrap up now.
We'll do the math. We already did the math, like for the first film. Where it was, they started on February 29th, then it was pretty much March, April, May, June, most of July. So that was 5 months. When did they start filming for Man of Tomorrow?
About the same time, I want to say, this year. Was it March or April? Remember James Gunn posted the other day, day 85. So day 85
so what was 85
a couple of
days
weeks ago.
That's about
day
3
85
months.
was a couple of weeks ago.
So it's almost 90 days. 90 days is about 3 months. So I would say, like, if Man of Tomorrow is especially a bigger movie, I can imagine it's probably going to go for another month or two.
I don't think they're wrapping up this month. I mean, it doesn't seem like James Gunn hasn't hinted. I mean, obviously, it's not that he has to hint at them. I remember they were transporting Daily Planet like trucks, or like like the delivery trucks to Ohio. They haven't shot anything that we know of in Ohio, in Cleveland, or Cincinnati. So I have a feeling we're going to get some of that, whether it includes Superman or David Cornsweet or the main cast or not. I'd imagine there's some stuff they haven't done yet, so we'll keep an eye out. I mean, between the Batman Part 2 and Man of Tomorrow, and then hopefully Secret Wars going into production soon. They're already building out the Battle World set that we got an aerial photo from. I can imagine we'll get more photos like that once the set is built out and they're shooting. So a lot of set photos to come later this year. We got a couple of big years at the movies. So join us tomorrow. We'll be back with DCU Daily. We'll have Tier List Tuesday. I think Liz might be with us tomorrow. we'll be tier listing, it looks like, the MCU X-Men cast. We got over 500 votes on that, by the way, John. Did you see that?
Yeah,
think that's a
I
record
saw that.
for
I was like,
us.
holy fucking shit, brosif.
Like 585. There's gonna be over 600 votes by the time the show starts tomorrow, and 57%
Not like it
of
really
you
matters
voted.
because X-Men is like fucking far and away the
Yeah.
biggest ones. So.
Spider-Man couldn't keep up, 34% of the vote. All right, and if you guys have any ideas for Mount Rushmore Monday for the next poll, drop them in the comments down below. And then look out in the morning tomorrow. I did a recording of the Naruto fan casting that you guys voted for a couple of weeks ago. That's going to be premiering in the morning on Tuesday. So yeah, we'll be here with you all week long. And then I'll be back with you guys on Sunday for another Lanterns live watch along, episode 3. So stick around with us. If you're new, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the hype button, hit the like button. So many things you can do. Just, do them all. Do all the things. Helps us out. All right, later guys. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed. Peace.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go. Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
Boner.
I prefer Jared Leto.
And remember, fuck Tom King, fuck David Ellison, and fuck Jeff Snyder.
Amazing.